I was thinking, should we get subtitles for this? Should we get like, you know what I mean? Just think. The funniest thing is though, being from the north for me, is how I've had to tone it down though, because, and it's funny because in North Carolina where I live, they've got a real strong accent here. Like I can't understand the word they say. They definitely can't understand the word I say. And do you know what people say to me, which I've never noticed? They say we speak up north, we speak too fast. Have you ever got that? Oh, you speak too fast.
Yeah.
I can't say anyone's ever said it to me, but weirdly, sometimes when I watch my YouTube videos back, I think, God, I'm speaking fast there. Yeah, you know? Yeah, I do all the time, all the time. Yeah, yeah. Slow down, you idiot! And people will be able to tell what you're saying.
And it's what we say as well. It's like, and our Suki's really bad for it because it's the saying. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, how many I must end every sentence with "and so forth." Or, do you know what I mean? And the funny, I never noticed it so, but Jen used to say it all the time. When I was talking to Jen, and she'd sit there and go, "Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" You know,
do you not find, Shabby, though? Have none of your kids picked up on your accent? Do they must speak a little bit.
Still got it. You know, the funniest thing is, our Jude's 20 and our Suki's 18 now. Hard to believe, I know, with my youthful complexion, but you know that's how old my two older kids are. But so we came over here when they were 8 and 7, and so they've kept. I think a northern accent is a real strong accent, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like so we keep hold of it. The funniest thing for me as well is when I talk to you lads, I go back to being northern because usually when you're away from home and you've been away from home for years, you kind of like change your words and change the way you talk. I can't really turn around and say internet. Yeah. So they'll be like, what's up with him? Do you know what I mean? So, did you get that though, DTM, when you came over to the States?
I did. No one could understand me, could they? Yeah. I know Rob struggled. I could have said anything to him and it'd been straight on me again. I think a lot of times he was just nodding and smiling.
Yeah, you do that, don't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, accents are like that though. First time I went to Dublin last year, I only put Gerard. I just couldn't understand a word he was saying at all. I just couldn't get it. It was that Irish. This year I was not so bad. I got in this year, but the year before I was like,
hey, Connor.
Good job Miriam was there translating.
The funniest thing is though, us being Northerners, I never get that with the Scottish. I can understand the Scottish, how strong a Scottish accent is. I can always get it. Do you think that the same way as well?
Yeah.
Well, I've been with a Scottish girl for 17 years, so I think I passed in the department.
But then again, so we're from Little Scotland, aren't we? So that's what they call Blackpool, don't it? Little Scotland. Yeah. So, brilliant. Anyway, let's have a look who's here. Our Connor's here.
Hey, Connor.
Put some vinegar on your chips.
VTR.
It's got to be gravy, honey. It's got to be. You know what?
I can't be doing vinegar.
She sends me 2 big tubs of Bisto every Christmas. So, and I always save it. And the reason I save it is because it's not as if you can go to the shop and buy it over it. Do you know what I mean? So, my Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving dinner. Oh man, just that gravy. So, but I always like it on chips, but I can't waste it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. No. Yeah.
I'm just a straight up ketchup man on chips.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise.
Well,
I like mayonnaise on chips. Loads of vinegar, loads of salt, mayonnaise to dip it in.
I can't be doing with vinegar. It gets to the back of my throat. It's I can't be doing with it.
They don't sell it over here, but I found it. You have to search some stuff over here. Well, they sell it, but it's not our vinegar. It's like a sweet tasting vinegar, and you're like, do you know what I mean? It's definitely not chip vinegar, if you will.
Yeah.
But I found it under here. It's over here. It's called red wine vinegar, and that's what it is. It's like a malted. It's red wine or something like that. And we got hold of it, and I thought, I'll tell you what, I couldn't. It's weird because when you're away for so long, it just takes that little taste, like Food Lion now, which is like our Asda, if you will. They've just got Coleman's in. And to me, it was like, it's like Indiana Jones finding the great. There it is, Coleman's, brilliant.
I do love a good mustard. Yeah.
Jonathan's here, Gerard's here, Mr. B's here, loads of people are here, Kieran's here.
I see that. I didn't put my hat on for you, Kieran. I can't put my woolly hat on if Kieran's in the chat.
Why not?
Said the other day, didn't he? Oh, I'm not offended by your beard, Luke, but that woolly hat.
I'm not offended by your beard.
but that woolly hat. Yeah.
Kieran's from Southeast Essex, the posh Southeast. Oh. Do you know it's all of us went? Good evening, everyone. Just sat back.
Hey,
take it, whip it out for a walk. E-bike. I don't think I've ever said e-bike.
E-bike no.
E-bike no. I'll tell you what did make me laugh. Was DTM at Joe Fest when he went, "My ex, she's a body lass." I laughed my bollocks off.
Yeah, you won't get no Boddington's reference down there, will you?
Andy had no idea what it meant, did he? Andy's like, "What?"
Honestly, I might as well be speaking a completely different language because some of them didn't have a clue what I was saying.
Oh,
they just smiled and nodded.
I remember the advert. What did he say in the advert? Bah, yuck, you smell gorgeous tonight, Petal.
Yeah. Ayesha's here. Ayesha. Keith's here.
Hey up, Keith.
Let's have a look. Loads of people have turned up. Wow, up to 40 already. We appreciate that. We really do. I've got a couple of topics as well tonight, boys, because you were bringing something up on Wednesday when we had you on, Luke. And I was telling our side, I'd like to have finished that off, but we ran out of time, or you didn't come in till late, or whatever. So, me and Si thought of a few things. Two topics Si's brought up, and two topics I brought up. I mean, it's just to do with us in general, basically, and we're looking at and things and else and so forth. So we'll just go through all them. So look at this. Looking at a photo made me think what boys don't look like now. Well,
diamonds, don't they? Look like diamonds today.
I'm just waiting for my last of my homing pigeons to get here. I tell you, they must all think we live in cobbled streets. And
yeah.
That's because we do. To be fair,
Backham is a cobbled street.
Did you know? I'll tell you something about the North. When the indoor toilet came around for the Victorian days of the North, did you know it took us Northerners it was 83 to 100 years to accept indoor toilets. So even though people think the North are a bit grubby, we went, toilets inside your house? No chance. I mean, it took nearly 100 years for us to adapt to a toilet in our house.
It was weird that, wasn't it? Having the feeling that you can't shit in your house.
It must have been though back in the day, because like all the northern houses, you know as well as I do, growing up, there's loads of like outdoor toilet houses at your bases, like the dads that you use as a garage or something, store your bike.
Yeah.
And that's because back in the day, it took 100 years for us to be convinced, Luke.
Yeah. The house I grew up in had the outdoor toilet and coal house. The outdoor toilet and coal house was knocked through and turned into a bathroom. But it was an outside. Yeah, that's what we did in our old house.
We had a coal house, and just at the back of that was an outhouse.
Do they still have lace curtains up north as well? I always remember everybody's houses lace curtains.
I mean, we don't have them. We like blinds, but net curtains are everywhere. Yeah.
Everyone's got blinds. I'm like, anyone can see it.
Yeah.
I'd say what did disappear up north for me though, when I was a kid, right? Every single house I would go to, and I mean every single house, didn't matter if it was me grand's, me mates, me aunties, me own. Everybody had a little gold square carriage clock on top of the fire. Do you know little square ones? You used to see them on Bully. They were giving away his gifts on Bully. Remember the little carriage clocks? We all everywhere. I wouldn't think we all had them.
Didn't they have something underneath? They had something underneath that just span back and forth, didn't they? Something that sort of span back and forth. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
We all had one, didn't we?
Yeah.
I suppose that's what it's weird though, because it's like our community, for example. It's so funny how many Southerners we're friends with. Do you know what I mean? That's funny though, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like it takes a community for us, because I'm not being stereotypical, but we tend to keep ourselves to ourselves. And it's like when I worked in London, every time I talked, they were like, what's he doing here? He's like spitting on me as I walk down Marylebone High Street. You know? Hey, Guppy's here. Hey, okay. I got a parcel from Adam today. You got a parcel for me
Oh.
today. Oh, I'll
Very
set up a live
nice.
stream this week and I'll open that. So I appreciate you. It's a big bugger too. I couldn't believe it. I thought, what a nice thing to do. So that came this morning.
It's
James
had a
is
minute.
here.
Cheap way to come to America.
Yeah, look at it that way. Claire's here.
Yep.
Wow.
Yup.
Place is
Yep,
packed. Absolutely packed. Our Oppie's here. Oppie's here. There he is. Evening, everyone. What does that say, Luke? I can't read that second part.
I said, you'll never
Yes,
walk alone like a true
sorry,
gentleman, Tones.
I blacked out for a minute. Sorry, I don't know.
Forgot it was on tonight, but it was 1-0 up to Liverpool, so I was happy with that.
Oh yeah, they're playing, aren't they? Yeah. Anyway, Miriam's here. I am Miriam. Let's have a look. Our Coxie. Did you see Coxie's picture with Lee Francis on Instagram? It was brilliant.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Brilliant.
I did.
Mm.
Matt's Collections here. Wow.
Hey, Matt.
Martin's here. Look at this.
Martin.
Everyone's coming. Ricardo's come to see us. Look at that. Our
Okay.
Ricardo's here. Question for the group: why do British singers lose their accent when they sing?
Some do, some don't. Like Liam Gallagher doesn't, does he? And Ian Brown from the Stone Roses didn't. And but then Mick Jagger does.
Don't
He sings
everybody,
in that line.
don't everybody lose their accent when they sing? Professional singers.
No, I get that because I agree with that. I don't like it when our singers like are American. Like you listen to Robbie Williams, even though he's a great singer, it's American tone.
Yeah.
It all sounds American. And I don't like that American accent for our sort of singers.
Yeah,
I like
can you
them to
imagine
sing
where
in
we're
dialect.
from? Here's a song for you, especially for you. It's not really the same thing, is it? I want to tell you where I'm from. It's not, you can't really sing it in our accent.
But when I think about it, I don't really think American singers sing in a real strong American accent, do they? I don't think they do. I don't know. If you think about how Americans speak, yeah. But I think that's like by design, isn't it? But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of loses their accent when they sing. I don't know. Maybe.
Northern chaps, where's breakfast equal breakfast?
Yeah.
Lunch equals dinner and
No.
dinner. Tea, yeah, weird stuff. Yeah, but
Yeah.
our Jen does it though. Our Jen calls it tea now. You know what I mean? Because you've been with us for so long. Oh,
Tea is 5 o'clock. Tea's 5 o'clock. Dinner's 12 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's
I
the law.
agree. John McGrath. Hey, would you like to know some interesting facts about the north of England? I've got 3 here.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Go.
This one will baffle you. Do you know the north of England is the most treeless area in Europe? Did you know that?
Treeless.
Yeah, I didn't know it, but it don't baffle me. No, I can see that.
So it makes sense.
It's weird, all Dave, because it's something that you never think of. But when it's like what you've just said, Luke, when you see it, you go, "Oh yeah, I can't think of it."
We're not where I am. Can't say there's huge amounts of sort of trees and woodland and
Yeah. So it's a. Do you know that the north of England contains 17 of the UK's 69 cities? We've only got 69 cities in the UK. And we've got
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And how many people do you think live up north?
Oh,
Me, Luke.
Yeah. 3,
Used to be
4. There's, yeah. I'll count Shabby. 5. Yeah.
I'd say 42 million.
42 million.
42. 14.9 million people live in the north of
Only
England.
14.
Or 14.9. So you nearly. Aye, that's a lot of tea. What is your favourite tea? It's got to be PG, hasn't it?
I've not drank tea since 2002, so.
You know?
That's very precise, Dave. Was that a conscious thing? That's it. I'm not drinking tea anymore. That's
My last cup, 2002.
Ironically enough, it was last time I used a comb as well. So.
They offered him a brew in 2003 and he went, "Oh, that's so last year."
Yeah. Where Yorkshire tea in our house.
Yorkshire tea in our house.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. It's funny that everyone's taking the piss at this, saying everyone. I was gonna go to bed about about a month ago in the morning, and I was just checking my phone, and Papa Gord was on, right, and he was on with Paul's Collectibles. And Paul was on.
I know Paul struggles.
Right, and Paul goes, Shabby, let's go on, Papa's, let's go on. And I was like, it's half one. All right, fair enough. Anyway, So 1:30 in the morning, I set up all my stuff and I go in and there's me, there's Paul, there's Papa, and I'm talking away. No less. Two of the lads in Papa's chat went, I haven't a clue what he's talking about.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shabby. It weren't that long ago that I mean, I'm usually busy when it's on, but I jumped into Baz's stream when he's on with David World of Toys.
Yeah,
and I was in the chat. It was a while back now, but I was in the chat, and Paul's Collectibles jumped in the chat. So me and Paul were chatting away, and about 10 or 15 minutes in, I got a private message on my phone, and Paul's Collectibles. I was like, I'm chatting to Paul in the chat. Why is he messaging me? And I opened up this message, and he went, Luke, can you just tell me what the fuck are they saying? Because obviously Baz is Scottish, Dave's Brummie, and he was like that. What the? I don't even know what either one of them are saying. Can you tell me?
The best story about Birmingham was this. So when we were in England, I was in the suit game, as you all know. You know, I did the suits and so forth. So I was always away from home. So Jen started the Shabby Jack's business. You know, the furniture business that we're in now. So Jen used to do it because we had babies at the time. So she'd make furniture, she'd paint furniture, and people come and pick it up. Well, she had these two people picking it up, and I was at work, and it was only like a fourth or fifth time she'd actually sold something. So I'm going, what, 2010, 2011, around there. So anyway, I get home from work. She's dead excited because she sold this piece of furniture. And I'm like, oh, what were they like? And she went like out with her face, and she went, I'm not sure. They were foreign. I know that. I said, foreign? She goes, yeah, I think they were from Portugal. Now, when she said Portugal, I thought, there's no way she's saying Portugal. She would have said something else, not that, right? So she said, but they've commissioned another piece. They're coming back at the weekend. Oh, all right, fair enough. So anyway, weekend comes. I've got the weekend off. Door rings. Two people, middle-aged people out
from Wales or something.
And he went, all right, I've come for my coffee table. Birmingham. Foreign.
Portugal.
Birmingham. I was like, you know, my missus couldn't work it out at all. And it's all the other thing is for my missus, it was the humour. Like Shooting Stars, for example. We used to, I'd be in stitches. She'd sit there like it. She could not get around what was funny about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Couldn't work it out.
People like that though, that still didn't get on with Shooting Stars.
Oh, I loved it. Loved it.
Oh, I thought it was brilliant. Yeah. Hey, Rob.
Good old Rob's here. Si's been with a Scottish girl. Does Claire know? Everyone say hello to Rob. Mr. B. Let's have a look. Coxie says, I can understand the Scots as my ex was Glaswegian. Over 20 years with her. What a great city. I love Glasgow. I've only been to Glasgow twice and I loved it both times I went. I thought, what a great
I've not been to some kid. I'd love to go.
It's funny because we always have that stereotypical thing about Glasgow, don't we? Especially being Englishmen. You're like, oh, I'm not going there. It'd be rough and beautiful city. I was amazed by how nice it was. Yeah, it was a really pretty place. Really nice. I mean, it's different to Edinburgh too. You know, Glasgow looks like more of a modernish kind of city, I thought when I was there, you know.
Glasgow's Gotham City, isn't it? It's Gotham City now. It's been used Gotham City for the past 3 Batman projects, so pretty cool place. I prefer Edinburgh. I love Edinburgh.
It's the little package you get from a restaurant that says he's from Yorkshire and tires crump. Oh, brilliant. Edinburgh is better, says. So Tim Hayes is here, I think. Is he here? Someone says hi, Tim. Well, it's rather. Let's have a look. Hi, Tim. Travels with Jason. Hi, all. Just building the Super Batman Batmobile, so I'll be listening to what you're saying. Slow down, Luke. Slow down. Hi, Chris. So we're watching 3 Northerners and a Yankee. See, I knew he was going to give me shit about that. I knew he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's why I got involved with everybody, though. You know, it's like, and I think that's why, like I said, most of my live streams are only 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon because I tend to go towards the English lads. It's nice for me being away, having you lot. Do you know what I mean? Because then it's like, because not that I'm lonely over here and I feel like a stranger over here, but they don't get our humour. They don't. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
we're a bit dry and we're quite sarcastic, aren't we? And I don't.
This is what I mean. If I gave somebody shit like I give DTM, they'd look at me like I didn't like him, and I'm like, no, it's not. Yeah. It's not that. You don't want to explain yourself about you. You know. So anyway, Tim Hayes is here. Hiya, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Cox is in South. There's a lot of Essex boys, isn't there? Loads of Essex boys.
See, I find them sometimes hard to understand. You say 2 words with everything. If you pronounce the words wibble wobble, right? That's all Essex saying. Wibble wobble, wobble wibble, wibble wibble, wobble. And then you get the Essex accent, don't you?
Wibble wobble, that's all they say.
Wibble wobble, wibble wibble, wobble.
Yeah. I think he's been watching too much Post Selector, as I would say, I think.
That's because all Northerners still prefer to stick their asses out the window and crap in the street. Where in the north have you been?
You do that around here.
It's certainly Blackpool.
No bone china body pots under your bed, Shabby inside. I think the whole thing is like 1936 where we're all from, doesn't it?
Like last of the summer wine everywhere up north, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oxy says, my adventures up north consist of about 60 visits to Anfield, and never visited it, 25 visits to the Lake District, and 10 visits to the Peak District. I've never been to Blackpool. He's never been to Blackpool.
Well, he's never been up north then, has he? He's never been to Blackpool, capital of the north. The Vegas of the north.
For some reason, even though I'm from the place, whatever, what makes me laugh more when I hear about Blackpool is Reynolds' story about the Norbreck Castle, about the bed of the hotel.
It was horrendous.
Horrendous. Yeah.
Horrendous.
Because
you know what? At one point, that hotel used to be the place to be. That hotel. It's got 3 cinemas in it. It's got 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools, and
I'll never forget swapping rooms 3 times, and in the 3rd one, when we couldn't be asked to change again, I was fixing a shower curtain while Rachel was washing the floor on her hands and knees. What are we doing here?
Oh, brilliant!
What are we doing? Yeah. Honestly, she was on her hands and knees, scrubbing the bathroom floor while I was hanging a shower curtain. We were looking at each other going, we can't ask to change again, can we? No, we can't. Let's just go out.
Rob. Ted goes to me in DTM as soon as we come out. Is this the hotel Luke stayed in?
Yeah.
Mr. B, Tim Hayes, I'm nearly at the bottom now, so we can have one of our topics. Delvian's here. Hi, Delvian. Adam, how is all our football leagues doing? Football leagues? Oh, yeah, they play down there, don't they? They must get miffed about our football teams up here, though, eh? Do you know what I mean? City, United. We've dominated for years, haven't we? You know, who they had? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All over my head.
They had me, Owen. Watch them all now typing away, you bastards. Oh,
I'm saying nothing with my team.
My Americans tuning in. No, we can't understand them either. Oh, brilliant.
I have to do sign language.
American pop style is what the Beatles sang in. That's right. Yeah, I think that's What is it? I don't think they're putting it on. Is it just like the way your voice projects when you sing?
Well, I think most people's singing voice is very different to their speaking voice, isn't it? You know, I think because you do have a specific singing voice and how you speak. You know, I think people do sing differently. You don't keep your accent, do you? I don't think anyone does when they sing, really, unless it's a deliberate thing, like say country and western or whatever. But that's a deliberate thing, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
but
just.
Yours have a different voice for your phone. Because my grandma,
I
write Broad Manchester last, and every time the phone rings, hello, 42124. That's why I always remember that. I always remember that phone number, Si, because of that. Because if you go in a phone room going.
If you go back right early on in sort of on my YouTube channel, my brother still takes the piss out of me now, even though I try not to do it now. I deliberately go the other way now. But my brother still takes the piss now whenever, because you watch my early YouTube videos, and I had this thing at first, well, I've got to speak properly. I'm on YouTube now. I've got to speak properly. I can't speak Northern, right? Can't speak Northern. And I'll find one of my videos, and you'll see me like show something. I'll go, I think that's quite strange, isn't it? And Joe's like, what are you talking like that for? I was like, what are you on about? We're like, isn't it? Just go, in it. It's weird, isn't it? What are you saying, isn't it for you? He's like, what are you doing? You know, and now I try and go fast so that I'm the other way, that I make it like I'm not speaking, like I'm trying to speak how I speak. But it's like, he was going, what are you saying it like that for? No bed.
Not bad, exactly. I do every time I'm like ZSR's on. I always say ZSR, and then guaranteed Smith Lord, knobhead like that to me. It's Z, you knobhead. But you just change your way you think, talk, don't you? So, but but my grandma always used to do it. The phone would ring and she'd go, "Hello, 42124," and I go, "What? Who's that?" Remember, Si?
Oh, things like that are funny. One of the funniest things ever is when me and Jay once went to go and visit my Auntie Rosemary. And we were sat there having a fag and a brew at the back table, and the phone went. And she picks up her phone and she went, "Hello? This is Rosemary. Sorry, I am not sitting at the moment. Please to be Jay."
Yeah.
And I said to her, "What did you do that for?" She goes, "Well, I didn't want to talk." I said, "Well, why didn't you just say
don't pick up?"
She pretended to be the answering machine. Oh, it was hilarious. It's
I mean,
the
I've got
funniest thing
time
I've
for
ever
that.
seen.
Here's one for you. One show that we still watch it now. Me and my brother we still reference it. You guys ever watch a show called Game On?
Yeah.
Guys told me about it. It's a Scottish show, isn't it?
No. You're thinking Still Game.
Right,
You're thinking Samantha Janus Game On.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. And there was an episode in that, and I still crack up even now. And me and my brother reference it whenever we get the chance. So obviously they're down south, so they're all talking obviously very very southern. And the premise of the show was Matthew used to have a flat. That was the main character, and he would sublet. He used to rent out 2 rooms to a guy and a girl, and it was all about the dynamic of the three, and blah blah blah. But Matthew was an agoraphobic, and he wouldn't leave the flat. So whenever they went to work on a morning, the show was kind of about what he got up to while he was just stuck in the flat all day on his own. And he used to do some crazy stuff, but it was fun. But he took a phone call one day for the girl that lived there, and it was a guy she was dating. And he took a message, but he couldn't remember his name. And when she comes home, she's like, he goes, "Oh, so-and-so called for you, Mandy." And she's like, "Oh, who was it? What was his name?" And in the end, he can't remember it. And he goes, "Oh, God, I can't remember. It was something northern, like half a black pudding or something." Just like, fucking crack up every time I get a chance to use it as like something northern. And then he goes to me, "Yeah, half a black pudding." He goes, "He only had the nerve to try and start a conversation with me. All right, mate." And we still use that now whenever we get a chance. What was his name? "Oh, half a black pudding or something." That's all we ever say.
Oh, brilliant. Here's a question for you, Howard Des. When does it stop being south and become the north? Manchester, innit?
About 30 minutes out of my door.
Yeah, isn't it?
I'll never forget that Zero Haunted Toys when I'm talking to him about it. And he goes, "No, I've been up north." I said, "Well, where have you been?" He went, "Bristol." I was like, "What? Bristol?"
But don't you think anything north to anyone in the south is north, isn't it?
Well, I suppose where Matt lives, yeah, because he's right down south, isn't he?
If they go 10 miles north, it's north. They're in the north. Yeah.
Do you know where there's no trees growing? The ocean. How do you know?
All right. Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's have a look. Hey, Kieran Gap. Baz is here. So, here we go. Dave stopped drinking tea around the time I stopped drinking gin. I blame the RAF for that one. I've heard his story. He got him hammered off gin, didn't he? He was absolutely battered, apparently. Did the gin fall out of the plane? RAF had gin and tonic party in our squadron. We were walking around with a giant watering cans full of gin with about 9 drops worth of tonic. Do you know I've never drank gin ever? I've never had it. Never had it once.
No, it's not.
And if I have, I can't remember.
Every so often we have a little bit of that. Rachel drinks that rhubarb and ginger gin, but she mixes it with like a bit of lemonade or whatever, I think, something like that. It's quite nice actually, but I'm not generally a gin drinker. But yeah,
there's a few things. There's a British restaurant in Pinehurst, which is about an hour away from me in North Carolina. It's called the Sly Fox, and the people that own it are British, and they've got it all decked out. You know, they've got a telephone box outside, and it's dead nice inside and all that. But it's the only place that sells Boddingtons, right? So, me and Jen have been a few times. Every time I miss that drink so much. Do you know it's 11 $11 for a glass of Arlington because of the import tax and all that sort of stuff.
So what's that? It's about £8 or something.
It's about £9 now at the moment.
Is it?
Yeah, about £9 for. But I tell you what, it's things like I miss Caffrey's, I miss Boddingtons, I miss. Do you know what I mean?
Caffrey's.
Caffrey's.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
1664. I miss that sort of stuff. You know, it's.
Yeah, a lot of beer when my old man used to drink. When we used to sort of go to football with him, he used to drink some of the beers he used to drink you can't get now. I remember he used to drink Younger's Bitter.
Younger's.
Was it Scotch Bitter and Younger's Bitter? Yeah.
I remember Stones Bitter.
Stones. Yeah.
Is Skull still going? Is Skull still a thing?
No, I don't think it is.
Jeepers. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Our Daniel Chart. Cold blinding,
Daniel.
This is the most northern thing I've ever seen. I feel bad. I need a flat cap and whip it to be allowed to watch. Never been to Blackpool, Kev. Congratulations. The return of the mattress mangler. They are, Luke. That's for you.
I've never ever got rid of that, have I? Ever.
First topic
going anywhere.
Do you know black pudding actually originates from them? That was another fact, but it went on a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? It was very hard of me.
Yeah, I do.
It was hard of me to try and sell black pudding to Andy Lemire. Like being an American and trying to tell him it's actually a blood pudding. He was like, "What? Are you lot still living castles or something?" He was
love it.
I love it. Black pudding's the law, isn't it?
Yeah. Love it.
I remember Eddie Izzard talking about that side. Oh, the Americans think we live in castles. He went, "Oh, how I yearn for a bungalow." Never forget it. How I yearn for a bungalow. Everywhere you go, castle.
Yeah, they don't get what black pudding is, do they? But I tell you what, I love black pudding.
Really thick black pudding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, you can't get it over here at all. And if you do, you've got to go to a specialist butcher or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's little things. It's weird that it's like going back to Christmas, mince pies or bourbon biscuits and stuff like that. Luckily, like I said, I've got an awesome family in England. It's like I'm a refugee in World War II. All they send me is biscuits and chocolate and stuff like that. Like I'm stuck in trenches for 2 years. Do you know? Little things you miss. It's just weird, you know. It's like getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning to watch football. 7 o'clock in the morning. It's like, just watch Everton win again. Who's Samantha Janet? Oh,
yeah,
I remember her, blonde hair.
Good-looking woman, good looker. Yeah, she's a good-looking woman. Yeah.
Let's have a look. Shabby gin tastes like action figure play. Does it? I can't. So what do you mean?
For me, it's always got that nail polish remover smell and taste about it. It smells like that.
They make gin in the tin bath after Shabby gets out. Tin bath. When I go to the UK, I like to try the local beverages. Guinness.
Yeah, he does. He likes to try Guinness, does Connor.
When we were kids, we would answer last name residence. Yeah, you don't do that with your phone anyway.
Richardson residence.
Yeah, it's like your mobile. It's like yourself. Does anyone know their own number? It's weird because you know your mum's number and your grandma's number.
I know it.
I haven't a clue what mine is.
I know it. Yeah.
Love the money would not get me tweet black pudding. Oh, you're missing out, bro. Missing out. Absolutely missing out.
I'll tell you what though, just going back onto mobile phone numbers though. Yeah. I know my mobile phone number like the back of my hand, but if anyone repeats it back to me in a different format than what I know it in, do you ever do that? Like you memorize it in sections, don't you? So when you say it to somebody and then they repeat it back to you in a different way, and you're like, "That is that right?" I don't know if, don't they? Yeah.
It might be a trick on you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is it my number? Yeah.
Ricardo, you're missing out, man. You see, it always makes me laugh the way they're off putting. They've not even tried. I tell you what, I guarantee half these lads that have never had black pudding, they'd bloody love it. I reckon.
And if you didn't tell them what it was to start with, if you just said eat that, and without knowing what it was, because I think once someone knows what it is before they eat it for the first time, they're already in the mind thinking, "I'm not going to like this." Yeah. So get them to eat it first before they know what it is, and I bet a lot of people would like it. Yeah.
After all that, Mr. B, I'll pass. Luke sold it. He went, "No, that's all right. I don't think I'll eat it."
I couldn't sell it to Andy. I couldn't. He was like,
no. Andy was having none of it. But Andy, let's just slag him off for a couple of minutes.
Andy has honey and tea. What does he know?
Honestly, Luke, right. So our site sends me loads of PG tips. So I had Yorkshire here, I had PG, and I had boxes of the stuff. And I thought, you know what? We'll send some to Andy. So we sent Andy some Yorkshire and some PG because Si thinks Yorkshire's the best tea. I think PG's the best tea. So we're having this argument, me and Si kicking off over tea for the Andy Louise and Si goes, just send them to him and he can make his own mind up. So we send him this tea, yeah? Comes on the phone and he's got this glass cup and he's like that, look.
Hang on. A glass cup with tea?
Glass cup, right? So he's got this glass cup.
It's already down there.
So already me and Si are looking at this cup and we're like, there's no milk in that. And he went, oh, no, I don't have it with milk. I have it with honey. I tell you what, Luke.
Right, well, that changes things again because I knew he had honey in it, but no milk in it with honey.
Me and Si were baffled.
Yeah.
They were like, look at it. They were like, he's dragged up that Andy Lemire, dragged up.
He's wired up wrong, is that lad?
I can't work it out though, because it's like when I first got it, especially I live in the south of America, so iced tea's a massive thing here. Yeah. I cannot work it out at all. It's weird because people say, why don't you like it? And I say, well, because it's cold tea. And they're like, well, yeah, it's cold iced tea. But I'm like, no, but it's, did you ever have iced tea? Have you ever had it?
I can't get on board. I can't get on board with iced tea, but I can drink iced coffee, weirdly.
Yeah, I'm saying iced coffee.
Yeah. I can drink iced. I can't get on board with iced tea.
No, it's I can't get my head around it. It's weird because you'll leave a cuppa and you'll finish off a cuppa if it's lukewarm or it's cold or whatever, but it's just ice in tea and they put loads of sugar in it.
But again, though, they don't have it with milk, though, do they, the iced tea? Don't they have it? They don't have any milk in it, do they?
No.
Yeah, no, I can't get on board with that.
No, they do this Lipton's, and I tried to buy it to make because when I first got it, I couldn't find it. You can get Earl Grey, but it's not strong enough. The Earl Grey, it's twine, and it's like $3 or $4 more than anything else. So I tried their Lipton's, but it's only made for iced tea. So when you try and heat it up and put it in a cup,
I was just about to say, stick it in microwave.
Bloody horrible, this stuff. G'day, everyone. I'm an Aussie that loves black pudding. Good on you, Mike. Good on you. APD, so I'm a little late. I had to milk a bull. That's very nice.
Okay.
Right. I'll tell you, if you've ever lived in Ireland, I'll make sure you try it and I'll change your mind. There you go. See, half and half, really, for the black pudding, isn't it, lads, to tell you the truth?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. G-Force says, hello. Well, first of all, hi, G-Force. Just saying hello to everybody. Gap asks, why isn't there green pudding?
Well, there is a green pudding. That's the pudding you make after you vet your black pudding.
Green pudding.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Oh, brilliant. Ricardo says, well, if I ever make it to Ireland, I'll try it. Yeah, you try it. It's good stuff. You can tell they're from the north. Honey he baffles him. It does. Yeah. No, I suppose
I don't go near honey. I watched this show once years back, right? It was about... You're not eating, are you, Luke?
Yeah, you're all right, though. I'm not squeamish. Go on.
Oh, good. Because it was about honey made out of bees vomiting. It's actually bees vomit, bees sick. And once I actually watched this show, and I was like, I've never touched honey again. And I will never go near it. Ever. Winnie the Pooh couldn't even sell it to me. No chance.
I don't think anything beats a full English. I don't think anything. You can't get it over here.
Brilliant.
And if you can, the bacon's dead hard over here. It's like crispy. It's not our bacon.
Oh, yeah, they have it in strips, don't they? It's so hard, so you can snap it almost. Yeah, that sounds
but it's more like having a bag of crisps, and they go mad for it over here. Our bacon, I'm like, yeah, but our bacon is different. I like a proper barn with an egg. Me and Si used to live next to a bakery, and we come home from the pub and the clubs at 1, 2 o'clock, and we were just cooking it, weren't they, Si? Do you remember? So we'd always.
You know what, you're laughing, but that's what I've had for my tea tonight. I've had 2 pound cakes with egg and bacon on, and brown sauce on one, and red sauce on the other. Bit of a connoisseur, Dave. So it's like,
That's all the shit.
Yes, an emphasis.
Okay, so I know England is known for their tea. However, everyone has different tastes, so I can't work out why you're also because the British Empire was built on it, G-Force. That's why, and you lot threw it in the Boston River. I could just imagine them all dumping it, then having a break. Oh, I tell you what, I'm dying for a cup. Oh shit! They dumped it all. My thoughts exactly with green pudding. Eats black pudding, but not honey. What the France?
Don't mind a bit of blood. but I'm not even sick.
You're all right with blood, not beating.
Yeah, I'm out with blood, being a vampire, but when it comes to sick, no thanks. I'd rather not.
Just make a Gino pudding. What's a pistachio pudding? What's that?
With nuts, you know, the pistachio nuts. Claire loves pistachio stuff. Nuts.
As a pudding?
Yeah, but
as a pudding?
They make a pudding out of it, right?
Yeah. Apparently so. Right, I've got some topics here. I've got a few topics I'd like to discuss. First one, though, baffles me. Our side came up with this, but I'm a perfect right. So the first one we're going to talk about is what you think of Lego.
Baffles you.
It baffles me because the thing about Lego to me, I loved Lego as a kid. I loved, you know, the space Lego, and I love it. But as I've got older, I've not really action figures for me, you know, Motu and all that sort of stuff. So I bought a couple of Lego sets, and I remember Jen getting me the BD1, the robot from Jedi thing. That was about £100, but I've never spent more than $30 on Lego. And I always have that thing when you buy it, comes in a massive box, but then you've built it, it's like that big.
Yeah.
But does it put you off Lego being so expensive, or what do you think of Lego? Because it is an iconic toy, in it, really. Do you class it as a toy, Lego?
Yeah.
Yeah,
most imaginative toy there is.
Yeah. It's got to be seen as, I mean, it's definitely classed as a toy. I think I do love Lego, and I used to buy quite a lot of it, and Rachel used to get me quite a lot of it. Birthdays, Christmas, I always used to get something Lego because I used to enjoy building something. On Christmas Day, I wanted to build something, so I always used to get
I
Lego.
always get mine for Christmas, same as you.
But it's largely disappeared from my toy collection now because, one, it's a bit too fragile, and I always think if it falls or if it you know, you try and move it around and bits break off, and so in the end, I don't really do Lego anymore. I like it, but I don't. I wouldn't say I collect it in any way, shape, or form, and I find it just awkward, if that makes sense. You want to move it and mess around with it.
I think you're the same as me because this Christmas, for example, I want the Jaws set. I really want that set, so I'll get that. But I always look at Lego as a Christmas present. Do you see what I mean? It's not something I'm going to...
Yeah, generally wouldn't go out and buy. No.
If it's like a $20... It's like when that Lamborghini came out for $20, I'm buying that white Countach. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Or when like a Star Wars, the Corridor came out from the Mandalorian, it was only £30. I bought that, but... Because
the bigger sets, I mean...
Go on, what are we saying, Luke?
I was going to say the bigger sets, like the deluxe stuff, I think it's just too damn expensive.
It is expensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why is it so expensive, though? Is it because...
I mean, I do. Yeah, you do, and I guess the Lego, the brand, and then if it's a Back to the Future set or a Star Wars set, you're then paying for the name as well on top of Lego. You know, I don't know.
Sometimes I think that, but sometimes you're paying the same set for brands that Lego already own, like the Dream set and all the NASA sets and all that. The Lego City, the Lego Creator, they're just as expensive as what the licensed brands are. So I don't really believe it's the licensed brand that sets it off. I just believe it's the worldwide distribution why Lego's basically gone up. I mean, last year for me, I bought a lot of Batmobiles and stuff last year, average £30. This year they've gone up to like 55. Now I don't understand the justification in a £20 jump up, and the actual Batmobile was the smallest one of the lot. But as you boys know, in the UK, our Lego goes down a lot. And I went into Smith's the other week, and that 55 set is now 35. So that's when I'll probably buy it now. Do you know, we can afford to play the waiting game in the UK because prices will come down. They will.
We like Lego here. We've got a lot of hobbies, but I don't like building it. I like getting it.
Oh, I see. I love building it. Yeah,
I do. I enjoy building it. But it's just the price, Dave, that puts me off. It's like
it's expensive.
You go into Walmart now and you see these massive, you know, the Technic sets that when we were kids, these Technic sets weren't this expensive, but now they're like 150, 200 quid. And I'm like, the thing about it is, well, they say, well, it's because of the licenses now, Shabby. You know, you've got the Star Wars license and the Ferrari. But when we were kids, our imagination made Star Wars Lego and Formula One Lego and this sort of Lego.
Those days are gone now because it's all pre-built into one set. You can't just get a ton of bricks and build your own Millennium Falcon. You've got to get
You see, I've got to say though, I'm happy about that though, because I've got no imagination at all. If somebody give me a great big tub of Lego and just said build something, I'd go like that. Give me some. I need instructions. I need something to tell me how to build something. So I like Lego sets with set instructions. This is what you're building, and you can follow it. If I just got a big box of Lego, I wouldn't have a clue what to do with it. I wouldn't. I'm not creative that way.
But you do it now,
But it's
though,
funny
don't
how
you?
Lego sponsored terms for franchises, considering that when we had a big box of Lego as kids, it was made for our franchises. I mean, okay, at the moment, for the past 25 years, you can pick up Star Wars Lego. But I've always had Star Wars Lego in a sense that a lot of my Star Wars vehicles were Lego sets. I'd make my own speeder bike. I'd make my own sitting for me figures out of Lego, and that would be just as cool as. So when that franchise of Star Wars Lego came round, I always wondered that was lads like us then that just made stuff for your Lego, out of Lego for your Star Wars, man. And it became
when did it ever become a display piece, though? That's the thing for me. When we were kids, we'd have a bucket full of it, and you'd make it, you'd put it all away. But now it's like you spend 200 quid on a Lego set, you make it, and it goes on a shelf.
Yeah, but that's the same for action figures. Why do action figures come with display stands? That's exactly the same.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah. But you don't even open your stuff, do you, side Lego? You don't even open it, do you? No.
I like the look of that look where it's all closed off. You know, like a bit like I like you going to a shop. I like that look. I like looking at the box and the art on it.
Fair enough. Yeah. I suppose
I'm just bringing up Steve.
A minute. How are you, Steve? Good to see you, mate.
Did you see that picture of him outside his house with his woolly hat on? And he looked like
I did. You know what? I did. Yeah, I didn't comment on it, but I did see it. Yeah, he's a good guy. It's good to see you, Steve.
Oh, I saw that picture when he was like that, big coat on, woolly hat on, freezing his nuts off. Bless him.
He's always good for a laugh, is Steve. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! Absolutely.
And then sometimes I was thinking, like, if you're a purpose Lego buyer and you are buying these sets at like £100 each, well, basically that's only now 3 or 4 action figures from what we buy. So the sense if you saved up on that, that's what your big sets are. I mean, you'll say, oh, you know, these Lego sets have gone so expensive, like 600-700 quid, 400 quid, but HasLabs and these other things haven't. Anything like that's going to be expensive now. We were talking about that Jazzy Batmobile today and how beautiful and luxurious that thing is. But that also is 1,800 quid, and it's only for 12-inch figures. So basically, it's an Action Man size Batmobile, £2,000. Do you know what I mean? So it's
beautiful.
It's not necessarily Lego as a company. I think it's necessarily anything on that luxurious scale now that we all want is going to be expensive. It doesn't matter what company it is.
I suppose what would you pay for a flag now? That must be,
that's true.
That must be, you know, I mean, I'm not up on G.I. Joe, but that must be hitting $1,000 if you want a flag, is it?
Look at that sail barge, Luke. How much was that last time I went to Echo? I think it was 2,700 last time I went to Echo.
Yeah.
Well, you're right there. Me, when me and DTM were at Joe Fest, we were seeing things in boxes for like 2,500, $3,000, $5,000, you know, flags and Defiance and all that sort of stuff. Some of the prices were ridiculous. As an inbox collector on Lego side, though, do you not miss the old school Lego where you used to lift the lid off and you show all the plastic inside? Do you remember that?
I didn't until we did the Tub Thumpers with VTR, and he went upstairs in his attic and he pulled out a Lego set that I absolutely adored as a kid, which was the Lego 3-way Technic set. You could build a bike, you could build all sorts from it. And when he pulled that out, my memory just went straight back to me being a kid with that. To a point of, I'd like to get that again. I think I'm going to try and find that and pick it up.
Yeah.
Lego wasn't what it is now as a kid. But it's massive.
No, these franchises for me have killed the imaginations of Lego. I mean, like what you just said, in a way, Mark, Lego was made to be built with your imagination, dismantled and built again and again and again. And that was the point of these purpose-built bricks. So for me, I do understand that logic of, well, why now do you build it? It's one set display and it sits there. That, to me, the imagination side of Lego has been completely wiped out, crucified.
Because back in the day, you could go to the shop and just buy a box of Lego, like a bucket of Lego, just general red, yellow, blue Lego bricks, and just go and build whatever you want, couldn't you? Well, you can't do that now, can you? Any Lego is a Lego set.
You still can do that today.
Oh, can you really? Oh, right, okay.
You can still go out and buy big boxes of Lego. But my point is, when, like you said, you didn't even know they existed anymore. They don't outsell the franchises, do they? And I think when kids see this like Wolverine set or this Marvel set or Batman set, immediately they want to build that. They're not really interested in their own imaginations kicking in. A bit like how the video game side killed figures. You know, that when somebody builds your imagination of fear on such a wonderful scale, you tend to go with it, don't you?
Well, that's what I thought. Same as what Jonathan's saying, right? Is Lego marketed? It was marketed to kids as something you take apart and make you all. I suppose it's moved on. Yeah. The funniest thing is, though, even though I don't collect it, I have said this a few times on streams before. I love watching the lads. There's a Canadian fella called Bricks in his this big warehouse, and he's made a huge Lego city. And it always fascinates me that people spend all that time and all that. I mean, this city he's bought, I mean, that he's built is massive. So it does fascinate me, and I always get. But then I think to myself, where does it end? Will I go? But this is
you can just keep going, can't you?
That's why I don't ever buy any Lego city sets, because the moment I did, I'd have to build something like that. You know, a big city with a train going round and skyscrapers. I'm not going down that route. No chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Matt's just put there. I can't recall. I mean, I probably walked past him, but I can't recall last time I walked into a toy shop and saw just a bucket of random Lego with an actual set to build something. I must walk past them, but right.
Yeah, they are still there. But again, they're just out, Sean. Nobody picks them up, I don't think, unless you're like what Mark says, an aficionado, a Lego builder of stuff. And I just don't think anyone does.
Lego shoot guy and fill up a beaker full of different coloured bricks. They're all at the back of the shop, aren't they?
They've got that Lego wall RDT. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so you can do stuff like that. But Matt's collection says even Lego's getting into retro. I've got to admit, I was the same as Si growing up in the same house. We love the space Lego. And when they brought out some retro versions, I was tempted, to be honest. But what puts me off, it's like I'm an action figure collector. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I can spend 200 quid on that, or could buy about 6 or 7 figures for the same price. You know. So that's kind of
where your heart goes and where your wallet goes to what you want to collect. I mean, every month when you get your money in, you start looking at things. There is a certain line you didn't go for before any. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But there's some things you just don't want to miss out on.
Yeah, have you heard that comment? I'd just like to point out, being left alone with your own imagination as a child can sometimes backfire. As I was a look at the Technic sets, like Si said, had 3-in-1 options, so you could build, take apart, build another one. Yeah. Oh, they are Si. Great win for the Reds to Sir Keith. So
it just pops up.
Our Dave says Lego is really popular up north because it's used for jacks when they steal the wheels. Oh, brilliant. That's one bloody expensive jack VTR. Oh, fantastic. Gilster says Lego is you know what, though? Is that why I mean you don't do it as much as DT? I know Helen likes a Lego. She was so great sets on. I do.
Yeah.
But do you think that's why we don't do it, our Luke? Because we think if we buy 1 or 2, we're going to be like, oh, hang on a minute.
Not for me. I mean, I just like what Si's just said there. To be honest, if I ever look at a Lego set, which occasionally I do, I usually look at the price tag and go, well, that'll get me 3 mask vehicles, or that'll get me 4 action figures, or that'll get me. Because even though there's a lot of stuff I like, as Chris said earlier, like Cramp, I want as much for my money as I can. Because my budget gets more and more modest. You know, things are going up, so the amount of money that I put into the house every month is collectively is going up with me and Rachel. So my toy budget is what takes the hit, because at the end of the day that's luxury money. So when I get, I don't know, if it gets to the end of the month and I go, right, I've got 60 quid, that's my toy budget this month. I want as much for that 60 quid as I can. So Lego generally isn't on my radar anymore, even though I do like it.
Yeah. See, I did it with the Playmobil. I was getting back into the Playmobil. I since I bought the Back to the Future one, but then I said to myself, you know what? I'm just going to stick with the pop culture ones and the Asterix one. I really wanted the Asterix one, and Ardes and Pete got me an Asterix set when they came to England and sent them over, whatever. But I thought that was all because I love Playmobil that much. I thought if I go down this route, it's never going to stop this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I made sure I just got the pop culture ones and stuck with that.
Yeah, same. I mean, the thing is with Playmobil, there's 2 things with Playmobil. One, I think they're extremely reasonably priced. Even though some sets do get on the fairly expensive side, I still think they're very reasonably priced for today's prices. And 2, the vehicles on the retro sets, I think the attention to detail and the job they do with them are exceptional.
Yeah, good, are they?
And I just think they're worth picking up. I generally don't go for the more standard sets, but yeah.
I saw some guy on
Instagram. Black market as well with Lego, though, isn't it? Like Travels with Jason, he picks a lot of other side Lego up, if you like me. He picks a lot up from abroad and gets a lot from Thailand and stuff. And so, whereas I'm paying like £260 a set, he'll probably get the same set but without the box and all that. probably costing 50, 60 quid. So in that long way, you know, there is ways around getting cheaper sets if you'd really want them, do you know?
Yeah.
But
Well,
again, it just all
falls
depends what you
into
buy.
falls into whether you're in the bracket of you want it to be official Lego or whether you're not bothered on it. Because I mean, during lockdown, I got the Lego sale badge. It was the version 1 Lego sale badge, but I got it from Wish. It weren't official Lego. But I got it, and I built it, and there's not a chance on this planet. If somebody had said to me that's official Lego, and I didn't know it wasn't, there's no way I'd have known. It was that good, and I got it, and it cost me 17 quid.
I've got something to show
you.
Yeah.
Bargain. You won't be paying that for the original one now.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
I've got something to show you now. You said that, so I went to Walmart, and Walmart was selling. It was exclusive to Walmart. Was selling these. Can you see me all right? I don't want to make sure it's pixelated or whatever. Well, they were selling them, and that's all. It's knockoff Lego, and it's an MTV thing, and you can open it like so. It's an old case like that, and then it even came with a cassette tape that you made. But it was under $5, and that's the thing. It was $4.85 for this, and it just sits on my shelf or whatever. But the quality of it is unbelievable. It always made me laugh. That I was thinking, guaranteed it's not Lego, but the quality's still good. So why is that only a $5? If that was a Lego product, that'd probably be about $25. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Yeah, but it's like what Ricardo says right here. I saw this guy on Instagram building Rome with Lego, and he still hasn't finished, and he's used 25,000. You see what I mean? You've got to keep going and going, haven't you, with Lego?
You're going to really like Rome.
Si manages it, Figs, Lego cars, so why can't you guys? He's got more money than us. He hasn't got 4 kids. That's why. So let's have a look. Playmobil is a great toy line. Yeah, I'm all for it. And I remember when we were kids, me and Si had 2 cousins that lived in Lytham. It's just a posh end of Lytham, Royal Lytham. You know, it's a nice area, and they had a lovely house, whatever. And I'll never forget it. They had a hospital set of Playmobil. I'd never heard of Playmobil, I'd seen it or whatever, and I was fascinated. I don't know whether it's with you guys, I love accessories, little details, stuff like that. And Playmobil is smothered in them, you know, it will give you all sorts. And then, so years after, I completely forgot about it, went down the action figure route, and then I was in Walmart, and Walmart Playmobil is hard as hen's teeth to find over here. They just don't sell it in stores. I think the only one that does is Barnes and Nobles, which is a bookstore, basically. It's not so you don't really go in there unless you want a book, and then they've got Playmobil, and they sell it expensive. But for some reason, Walmart had it in for $25, that Back to the Future set. I thought, you know what? And it was at the time when I was making the videos, doing the reviews and all that. So I thought, I'll buy this and I'll open it. I tell you what, I would have spent the $50 on it. And then but I think what Playmobil did with that, though, they aimed it at us because you've got the 18 van, you've got the Magnum PI Ferrari,
100%.
Ghostbusters, you know.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
I don't think toys like that sort of thing are aimed at the youth anymore, aimed at kids anymore. Yeah. And if they are, like, well, I don't see any new Thundercats. And when I do, it's like that rubbish cartoon from about 10 years ago. And so it's funny, isn't it? They're making these things, but they know who they're aiming it at. It's definitely all big kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kids not going to want to go and buy an 18 van.
No. Yeah, they don't know what it is, do they? Yeah.
No, there we go. But Jonathan makes a good point here, because you usually buy a Playmobil car or a ship or whatever about $15 to $30. These were expensive over here. I think the Magnum PI is $80. Do you see what I mean? It's expensive. I think it's the import thing. The only thing that upset me about Playmobil was the Asterix thing, because 1,000 Skulls was telling me about it. Oh, Asterix. And I thought, I can't wait for that. And they never sold it over here. So when I find the Asterix stuff, it's like 5 times more expensive. You know, the import charges. It's like your shipping's $50. I was gutted about that, but sometimes you want to buy 2 of the same set to make the ships, castles, cars. Got to have a plan with my imagination. Yeah, I suppose that's what it is. Size popped out to feed the whippets.
Pick ferrets. Get the ferrets, man. Ferreted.
Yeah, they are. They're crazy.
I don't want to know.
What Jonathan says, if I had the money in the room, I would love to do a big I'm fascinated by him. I just think to spend that much time and that much imagination, do you know the way they do it? They set the streets up and they put lights in it. I bought lights for that BD1 a year ago, and I said on a video, I'll put the lights in next video. That was nearly 2 years ago. No chance. Never got the vintage Lego space set. I would love to get that again. But I remember Matt, Zero Hunters, he started to collect it again. Do you remember? He got all the vintage Lego. And I know Scuba's got into it as well. Scuba's been buying it too. But there was something about that grey on that. Remember that neon green kind of translucent windows and the big moon, wheels and stuff like that. It was super.
Adams and all the Lego space this year, when they released the new space line from minifigures to every set across every set that they did, I think me and Claire are about 3 out. You don't buy the Lego Friends because I don't like the minifigures. So apart from that, I think we're about 3 sets out of the whole space Lego, the new stuff. Yeah.
But do you think you'll ever open it though, or because you will.
Yeah. Don't forget, it's like we're on the verge of moving. Like we're looking at moving for next year. Once we move and my room's back and everything, and we've got my art office back, most of this stuff will be out.
Oh yeah,
carded stuff, things that I've had for like years, that'll never be opened. Do you know what I mean? Things like my multiverse will, because they're all on trays in boxes. There's no damage done, do you know? But cards, no chance. I'll never open them. And probably now some Lego sets now after all these years, I probably won't now. I probably will keep them closed for the fact of I know how much Lego goes up in investment.
Yeah, a lot of them have been retired, haven't they? Once they're retired sets, they skyrocket.
Well, we were watching a show on Brick Fanatics the other day, and we were surprised how many of our Lego sets are going to be retired this Christmas, 31st of January. I think me and Claire have got a good 30 sets that are just going to be retired. So, and for that, Lego's a great investment actually retire.
Which always makes me laugh, because it's like they'll make an X-Wing from 20 years ago, right? And then it's retired and it's worth an absolute fortune. But then they will make a 2024 one, which is 10 times cooler than that one for 10 times less the price. So that always makes me laugh at why Lego keeps its investment.
Because it's that set. It's that numbered set, that's why. Because Lego, we all know it comes with that 5 numbered. And because it comes with a numbered set, that's the set. So you're actually paying for what numbered set you want. So they've done it with that cell barge. There's a cell barge floating around now, 750, 850 quid. Well, there's a new one coming at 4. But that old one will still stay at 800 quid because it's that set price number.
Yeah.
Got you. Anything else to say about Lego before we move on to our next topic?
Yeah, it's quality.
It's like I said, I agree with everything Luke said. I just think it's the price for me. I could buy I like bang for my buck. I've always been that sort of collector. Yeah. And you've seen me on streams for years. I've always been a person that I don't like anyone feeling like they're not involved. You know what I mean? I don't know people's financial background. I suppose that's why I love the Motu so much, because it's $17.99 and every one of us can do that, and this and that and so forth. And sometimes when you look at Lego and it's 150 to 200 quid, it's like those big sets, 500-600 quid for Lego, and I'm like,
it isn't though, because like this year they did the 35th anniversary Jurassic Park return sets, and altogether there was 5 sets released, and the dearest one was only £90. So in some sort of sense, you can pick a Lego range up for quite reasonable price. It's like everything. I could go out tomorrow and have 400 or 500 quid and I buy 2 Hot Toys. I buy the Joker, I buy the Batman. Hot Toys I've really wanted. Even after that, but everyone will say to you, I'm still paying 850 quid for a Batmobile. I'm still paying £600 for a Bat computer setup for them. Yeah. No matter what you buy, there'll always be something that's just way out there and out your price budget. Do you know what I mean?
And I also think it's all relative. Because I'll sit here now and go, well, I wouldn't pay, I don't know, that amount. I wouldn't pay £350 for a yak face. Not a chance on this planet would I consider doing that. I won't overpay for anything. I wouldn't pay this for that. When the new mass stuff comes out next year, I go on about price. Oh, well, if the bloody Rhino is 100 quid, I'm not buying it. I will. Because it's something because it's a line that I'm invested in that I want. So I'll find a way to buy it, and I'll find a way to justify it to myself as well. So I think it's all relative. I'll sit here and go, I'm not buying it if it's 100 quid, and then it'll come out and I'll see it and I'll go, I'm buying it. Yeah. So it's what hits you, what done.
Something you really want, Luke. The money really sort of dissipates, doesn't it?
Well, you find the money in the end. You'll find the money. If it's something that really hits you, things come out and you see the price. And well, if it isn't something that you're invested anyway, you'll see a high price and go, there's no way I'd pay that even if I wanted it. But when something does come out that you want, and you'll find that money if you really want it.
I suppose if you save it all, because if you think about it, the amount of money we spend on toys, for example, a month or 2 months, you've bought one of them in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I think it's, I don't know. It's like, I'm one of those things. It's easy finding 15, 20, 25 quid just to buy something. Your wife's not going to kick off. You've got it for your collecting, this kind of thing, you know.
It's just such a street. I mean, where is it? There, look. So Laser Command, right? 2 years ago, Laser Command in the group that I helped run on Facebook was going for around 250 quid. That was expensive then. Now it's, can you see it just there?
Yeah, the blue one. Yeah.
Now it's like 450, 500. And I was very lucky to get that off Steve as a Christmas gift. So I'm very, very lucky. But I also know that before I got it, I was looking at prices, 300-400. It's gone up at 450. What? And I was like, no way. I'll just sacrifice Laser Command. I'm not bothered about having it in my collection. But then quietly in my head, I was like, how can I get the money? You know, I'm out loud to people. I'm saying, no, there's no way I'll do it. And then quietly in my mind, I'm like that. How can I get it? How can I get the money to get it? You know, I'm planning how I can get that much money to spend on it. But outwardly, I'm saying to people, I'm not going to do it. You know, and I think a lot of us probably do that.
Well, you do it in the right way. You're putting stuff up that you've already had, like reback on. Like you won't just throw money at things. You'll resell things. You'll move things on. You'll do little deals with them, won't you? To justify that price. Is that right?
Well, I'm into the realms now of having to do that. When I sort of first started on YouTube and first started collecting again, sort of 12, 13 years ago, it was just straight up buying stuff. But as time's gone on, prices have gone up. Obviously, my budget has gone down. So I'm now into the realms of I've got to find ways to get things into my, and I don't see it as flipping, because I'll never buy something purely to flip it. I'll only buy something if there's the job lot of Bill and Ted stuff. Let's use that as an example. I think if you've been in the game long enough and you feel you know your stuff and you know prices and you can look at something. I mean, I looked at the Terrahawks, for example, 14 carded pieces, 7 figures and 7 vehicles. I didn't want the vehicles. I wanted all the figures. So I looked at that and thought, I think I can keep the 7 figures and sell the vehicles and pretty much make my money back. That's how I've got to do things. I won't buy something purely because I think, there's an opportunity to flip that and make a load of money. I'll take something out of it and sell what I don't want and try to make as much back as I can. But you've got to have the time, you've got to have the inclination, and you've got to obviously be savvy about doing it. You know, you've got to look at an opportunity.
It's so weird we're talking about. I was going to say, so we were talking about, because our next topic is prices of modern, prices of vintage, and that's what we're going to talk about now. But before someone has turned up, I always love playing this one.
There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright.
Rolando.
Northern version.
Rolando. So the next topic is prices of modern toys and HasLabs and things like that and so forth. Always baffles me. I remember this right here. Where is it? It's on here somewhere. Where is it? Anyway, I can't find it. I'd gone out with G-Force and I'd gone out with Scuba. It's about 2 years ago now. They come for a visit in North Carolina, and we'd gone to Target. And it was at that time where pre-orders and everything was getting rare. And every time you watched the live stream, we were all going on about distribution in the States and can't find anything in the States and so forth. So there's a figure that really wanted. It was just a mudded Mandalorian deluxe set. Not really a deluxe set. What it was a 6-inch figure with a few accessories. Same as we all got as kids, do you know what I mean? But they called it that. After I paid for it with tax and everything else, it came to over $41, and I was pissed. I've never been so mad ever. And it was the first time in my whole collecting life that I was actually thinking, this has got stupid. This has got absolutely stupid, paying that much money. But then they got you into that thing, didn't they, lads, where, well, if you don't get it, you'll never find it, and it's a rarity. And then you're going on...
Fear of missing out.
Yeah, and you're going on Facebook, you're going over there on Marketplace and eBay, and they're selling it for $80, $90. Now, so my point is this. Do you think modern toys is getting a bit crazy for the prices for that? Because I understand, it's like you were talking about that thing behind you before, the mass thing. That kind of makes sense to me. That's something that's not made anymore, that's rare as hen's teeth to get hold of. And you'll pay basically for what you think it's worth. Do you know what I mean? So if that was 400 quid, if that was 200 quid, that's up to you to do it that way. So I always had that thing where, well, maybe that's what it's like for modern toys now. It's up to me whether, but for something that's been out a year or something that's been out 6 months and the people are charging 80, 90 quid on the secondary market for it, I always found I can't work that out. So what do you think, DTM, about that?
I'll bring Star Wars into it. They have this big panel showing you what's coming out. You get all buzzed up. You see them, the pre-orders coming out that week. You hit the pre-order button. 2 years later, you're at a Comic Con with Simon, and what do you see? All these latest releases for like €10, 10 quid, and they've got loads of them. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes you've got to. It's like that Darth Vader you picked up, Dave, with the scarred head, that Obi-Wan one. Why is a modern figure out this year so hard to find? I just can't find that literally anywhere.
Yeah, and it is going.
Sometimes I think the modern way joyrides on the back of our vintage successes. I think it does that. I think sometimes the modern collecting world looks at the vintage world and says, we'll make ours as exclusive like yours. The difference is that 40-year, 50, 60-year collection of figures, there should be an exclusiveness to the vintage. I don't understand why things are like that today, where I'll be after a Green Goblin figure and within a month it's completely disappeared. That should be out for a good 5 or 6 years everywhere until like
the Dr. Octopus that they brought out. You never see that.
No, the things are just disappearing. I don't understand how modern the technology and the quickness and efficientness these factories have today. It seems to be twice as hard to get your hands on stuff. You know,
it's weird because it's like you'll see a car now. I'll give you an example. Last year we went to Joe Fest and we saw the Valaverse, the big truck at Valaverse, right? And we were amazed and we were all shocked that this was under 200 quid.
Oh yeah, that's a real good price, wasn't it?
But we're still talking 200 quid for a plastic toy. Do you know what I mean? But it's funny how our mindset's so used now to spending hundreds of dollars on this and on that and so forth. That when we see something for under 200, we're amazed by it. But then you sit back and go, oh, it's a plastic toy. You know what I mean? It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's how they've got us now. You look at that and you go, oh, that's a good price. Yeah. When really, I mean, it is in today's market. But if when you think, 200, if we just said 200 quid for a plastic toy truck, what? Really, you sort of go, what? £200 for? But yeah, today we go, oh, that's a good price.
It's weird.
Weird, isn't it? How we do. It's like my mind's taking backflips again now with this HasLab XO1. 1 minute I'm definite yes, then I'm definite no, then that's well worth it, then it's not worth it at all. Then my mind's now doing this backflip again with XO1.
I'll tell you something about this. Me and Helen almost had an argument about this. Almost. Nearly had his first ever argument.
Wow.
Yeah, because she doesn't believe that if they can make it, why don't they just make it and put it on the toy shelf? You know,
yeah, that's true.
100%.
And so I'm like, I'd like to back it, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah,
once
it's gone, a lot of money.
You don't see it for 2 years. So,
well, this is what I think, Dave. Right, for a start, I'm never going to open the thing. And if I don't open it, where are these light features and sounds going to come into effect for me? And then even when they do, I put it on my shelf, and people come round and I go, "Oh, watch this," and I like the thing up,
why you don't
and then I
open
never
it
like it again for like 6 months. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
is that why you don't open it though? Because you've spent so much. But I think that was my issue with the Black Series. I think, and I've got so many of them now. But it's weird. I think that because when the heyday of Black Series, well, I would say about 3 or 4 years ago, when they were getting really hard to find, when Walgreens was doing it exclusive, Target, Hasbro, everywhere had their own certain Black Series. You had to go to that store to find it, and that was a nightmare doing that. And so when you got it, and when you eventually found it, you were like, well, I'm not opening it because I've got to go through all this rigmarole of getting it. Do you know what I mean? And then you think to the back of your head, well, it was so expensive for me to get hold of. Do I really want to do that now? Which is weird in a way. It took the kind of fun out of it. You know what I mean? It's like Star Wars, for example, when you were talking before, Luke, about that yak face. I walk into a church fair and found 11 of the last 17 for £2 because they were so mass produced. But on the flip side of that, you lot will go to Echo and you'll come back and go, God, there's 800 quid for this now, which I can understand. And yet that was a mass produced product. Do you know? It's funny, isn't it? How prices go.
It's how these people put I went to Echo this time around and I was flipping through the back cards. You know the cards that people are picking up, the Star Wars kind of cards and the Palitoy cards, just the back cards. And I'm flipping through them, and the £5, £10, £25, £50. Then I come across the Yak Face card, 175 quid.
Really?
So I'm like, now why is this card 175 quid? Because the figure's expensive. Now this loose card is. It was like mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
G4 says, and this is where the sickness lies. We will turn our collections upside down to find ways to get these expensive items. For what reason? Because we want it. It is madness sometimes. It really is.
I mean, I don't know if I'd call it a sickness, G-Force. I think that's maybe a little bit overzealous, but yeah, there is something inherently there that we will. I mean, I will never. The one thing I'll never do, and I won't, because I am extremely disciplined in that sense. I will never, ever, ever overstretch myself to the point where I put me or us as a couple in any kind of financial difficulty, because then it becomes stressful. It's no longer a hobby. A hobby's meant to be enjoyable, and I do enjoy the sort of when I buy these job lots because I've seen something that I want. I do enjoy. It's almost a bit of a challenge to myself, because I've thought, right, I've looked into something and thought I can make that work. So it's almost a challenge to myself. Can I do it? Can I do it how I've planned to do it? But I will never, ever, ever spend an amount of money that I think will put us in any kind of danger.
You can't do that
financially.
No.
But some people do, But I do get tempted. I do get tempted by stuff, but I'll never be tempted to that level. I will quite happily sacrifice things if.
Do you ever get that thing though? It's like I say, so you'll pre-order something, or you'll go out and buy something and whatever, and you'll get it and you'll go, oh yeah, this is awesome, on your shelf, on to the next thing straight away. I went through it after Christmas last year because I've got so much stuff for Christmas, and I went to Joe Fest and bought so much, but then I'm just getting it. Oh, awesome, I've got it. It's on my shelf. I'm on to something else, and then I've had a moment of clarity in a way to turn around and say, I'm not appreciating anything I'm getting here. I'm not appreciating it. Do you see what I mean? It's like, so what I did was, I got all my clothes stuff, my Batman 66, my Indiana Jones, and I opened them all. And I just spent a night. I was putting pictures in our group showing, and I loved it. It was so refreshing for me, turning around and going, you know what? I'm actually going to do, and it felt like Christmas Day, though, because you like I said, you got 25 of these to open, 30 of those to open. And so I went through that thing of, I'm going to hold back from buying for a bit, for about a month or so, which was very hard to do, boys. But then I thought I'll appreciate stuff. Have you ever done that, where you've just bought stuff and you've put it on your shelf and you've moved on to the next?
All the time.
All
the time. Yeah, all the time. Yeah, I've just seen a comment from Matt's collection, and it's funny. I mean, I've just said it myself. Yeah, I'm disciplined. I'm disciplined in a financial sense, but I'll be honest. I've gone right the other way with stuff that I'm collecting. I certainly focus now on vintage. Modern is definitely on the back burner, but all of a sudden I want everything I see. It just if it was in my childhood, even if I didn't have it now, I'm like that. I want it. I've just bought 2 other things from 2 different lines again, new lines that I don't currently have that I now do. I've stopped even mentioning it. It's like, four new lines now, 5 new. I must be at 10 new lines now that people haven't seen yet. So my discipline on that side is done. It's gone. Everything I see, monkey see, monkey do. I'm like that. Oh, I want that. Well, I didn't have it as a kid. Still want it. Don't care.
Do you think it's the worst thing about a community then? Because you'll watch other people's videos and something will spark. Like you said, you get to that point now, don't you, where you didn't have it as a kid, but then you think,
but this stuff, Shabby, this stuff, I haven't seen anyone else do a video on it or out like that. I just saw something and I instantly unlocked a memory, and I was like, I had that. I've had no aversion to collect it, but I want it, and so I bought it. It's crazy. But yeah, stuff Jonathan, I don't want. I didn't have. I saw Chuck Norris Karate Commandos the other day on eBay. Never had it as a kid. Don't even particularly like Chuck Norris. Didn't see him in shops, but I looked at him and went, "Ooh, yeah, they're nice. They're nice."
Commandos.
VTR's worse for that, because it's like when he showed those Karate Kid things. I never knew they were Karate. But then you see yourself about an hour later on eBay, don't you? Karate Kid Dojo. Yeah. He's like, you haven't sparked a memory. He's just like, oh, well, if he's got it, I need to get it.
Yeah. Oh, they're nice. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jonathan says here, modern toys are made lower numbers than in... Sorry, Simon.
Sorry,
what?
I was just saying, I think Rum's a lot like that because every time you see a poll stuff, it'll mention something like Mr. Blobby, and then he's got loads of Mr. Blobby collection stuff in there. I think he's one of them. He gets sparked by nostalgia and starts to collect it. Yeah.
Jonathan says here, modern. This is a good point. This ad lad. I've never thought about this. Well done, Mr. Edmund. Modern toys are made much lower numbers than vintage toys. That's a good point. What do you reckon to that?
But are they much lower numbers? You know,
I couldn't put a judgment on that. Yeah, I couldn't.
This is one to think of, that, isn't it? It really is one.
Because let's be fair, right? Say if everybody in the toy community back that HasLab Ghostbusters, we're all getting that HasLab Ghostbusters. So in that sense, I just think it's where does the market lie today more than...
I would love that because I'm a big, like I said, I've collected most, and I know DTM's got the plasma collection of that, and I would, but this close to Christmas, there is no way I'm spending $400, and then with tax and shipping, right before Christmas, no chance. I don't understand why they don't do it after Christmas and do a payment plan. Do a payment plan.
Yeah,
something like that. Especially when you're going to wait 18 months for it anyway.
We don't have any others. You know, we don't have a family, so it'd be easier for me. But still, it's a lot of money to wait for 2 years to see if it's actually any good.
Yeah,
I've got to admit, Dave, that is one thing that has always stopped me from doing any of these these crowd funds or these things where you back and the idea of spending into the hundreds for something I'm not going to see for 18 months or 2 years makes me feel physically sick. I don't think I could part with that amount of money when I'm not going to see it for that long. You know.
I think that kills it as well, do you, Luke? I think when you pay that much money and you get so excited for it, then you've got to wait 2 years. I think it kills it.
And the thing is, I mean, look, I'm a big Star Wars fan. You know, Mask. I mean, I think Mask could do something similar at some point. Well, yeah, I wouldn't have been shocked at one point if I'd seen a Boulder Hill as a crowdfund or whatever. But the one thing that almost tempted me for one of these, you back it and then you get it in 2 years' time, was the Super 7 Cat's Lair. I was so close because massive. I thought that was quite well priced, and I just thought that looks stunning. I was so close to doing that one, but then resisted. But other than that, I can't get on board with these where so much money for 2 years before you get it. I mean, Eternia set looks amazing, but
there it is right there. But it's like I said, if it wasn't for our side and with help from Scoobs, I would never have got it because there's just no. And don't get me wrong, it's amazing. I love the thing, and I'll keep it forever and so forth. But I don't know. Sometimes I suppose that's when it does come up. Your background. Like I said, we have our own businesses over here, so it's not as if we have great months, we have not so good months, whatever. And when you have 4 kids, you just got to be careful. So when you see that Ghostbusters thing, and it looks awesome, we showed it on ZSR last week, and it looks fantastic. But £400 before Christmas, I think up here you just can't justify
that. It's the wrong
that.
Time, isn't it? Yeah, it's the wrong time.
So the wrong time, especially
BTS the bad if you got it that Christmas. If you paid £400 at Christmas, then got it at Christmas, you wouldn't be so right. Well, to say thanks for your £400 at Christmas, see you in 2 years. Hopefully you're dead.
I would be dead if I bought it. Kill me.
Forgot about that. To be fair, that's another thing I did forget, Luke. You've just added that to my thoughts again, because that's another thing I totally forgot about. That it's a lovely thing. Yeah, it's £400. It's 2 year wait. I'm going to be 51 by the time the thing even gets here. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah, I just can't
probably
go
not. No, probably. Yeah. I'm happy with that Playmobil one that does the same lights and all that and everything and flashes up.
All a plasma series, and they're doing the O-ring figures to go in it. They're coming out in a couple of months, and it's to the scale of a little GI Joe. So I do have that one. I'm just waiting for the figures.
Well, I mean, I got the Kenner Retro one and the Playmobil ones. I got both of them. They're fantastic. So really, when you have it, that's the sort of thing where I'm not missing out if I don't get it. Do you know? And plus the fact where I put it, I remember that big Batmobile I bought at Joe Fest, that McFarlane one. I still haven't opened it. It's still in a box at the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, I love mine. I'm looking at it now.
VTR says here, no doubt, most modern toys are sold as collectibles. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So all modern collectible markets, watches, etc., they purposely have a fake low supply so they can charge more. I always thought about the pre-order, because when you go into an Ollie's now and you find there's so many Marvel Legends and Archive figures and Black Series in Ollie's, it's ridiculous how many there are. And I always think these are the ones that they held back for pre-orders when they wanted to make pre-order a thing, and if you had to do it, and obviously a lot of people weren't pre-ordering as many of them. Ollie's got them all, which I found weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I guess we could talk about all night, really, but yeah. Classical conditioning.
Yeah. Right, McFarlane has crapped all over the HasLabs not being able to be sold at retail. Every other month, Todd 22-inch Batmobiles on especially when you look at the stores over here and they sell those. I remember sending Scuba Pete a picture of a massive tank that 2 kids sat in. And this box was the size of a car. And I'm thinking, you can't put something like that in
That's
Walmart,
what I mean.
you know what I mean?
Have you been in our Smiths over here? Our Smiths sell toys that are this big and massive trampolines stuck to the bloody walls. I'm sure they could fit a box in there and a flag size, no problem.
Yeah, look at that. We look at prices today and then look at the original Color Death Star. Retail for how much? $10. The Millennium Falcon.
But let's be
retail for
fair though,
28
lads. If you're sticking these things on shelves and you're sticking these things in Smiths, you can't stick a £600, £800 price tag on either, can you? Really? Let's be fair. There's anybody who's going to look at them and go, "I'm not paying that for that."
Yeah, that thing was crazy big. Yeah, I just spit out my drink when Luke said he was extremely disciplined. How many lines are you collecting now, Luke?
Yeah. Well, I'm disciplined on one sense and not so on the other. Financially, I'm disciplined, but on I'm not. No,
we're doing this pretty good tonight because I'm going through all my topics. My next topic is basically what we made topics for. Is what you were talking about on Wednesday, Luke, and we didn't really delve into it because I think there was loads of us on or whatever. But we were talking about repros and customs and so forth. Now, when I watched your Echo videos, the lads that made them, I noticed there was a lot of custom stuff right there. There was a lot of things that were being made and everything else and so forth. So what I'm trying to say is, do you think repro and customs has the same effect now that it did a couple of years ago, or do you think people are more accepting to it now?
I mean, that's a difficult question. I mean, customs seem to be accepted if, when we say customs, it's a figure that or something that we never got originally, something we never had before, you know. So they seem to be accepted because as long as it's not something we've seen before and completely new, that seems to be okay. Obviously, repro, I think, is an extremely divisive topic, and I think it's a topic that a lot of us steer away from. Out of fear of maybe being perceived differently or a kind of backlash from a certain 100%. Demographic.
That's what me and Si were talking about. Because
it's a topic that I think a lot of us would like to talk about, and we all have an opinion of, but we're scared to say it whether it be on a live stream or do a video on it because of any kind of backlash that we might get. Now, my attitude has always been the same, that you'll hear people say collect how you want to collect, and I think some people say it and mean it. I think some people say it and they want to be seen to be saying that, but secretly the word purist gets thrown around a lot. My attitude is I don't really care whether you want to be I won't say purist because I don't like the term. If you do not want Reaper in your collection, no problem at all. That's fine, because there's some people that are happy with it, there's some people are. If you are happy to have Reaper in your collection and it suits you and your collection and how you perceive your own collection and it suits your pocket, also fine. I think it falls into two topics no matter which side of the fence you sit on. I think there's two things that we can all agree on. The biggest no-no in our community is, as long as you don't get repro and knowingly try and pass it off as original, because I think no matter which side of the fence you're on, we can all agree, none of us agree with that. It's one of the biggest no-nos in the community, that you don't do that as a conscious thing. But the other one is, and this is where I think it's just a really basic thing. We're all grown-ups, that no matter how someone collects, you are allowed to disagree or agree, see it the same way or see it differently. But the bottom line is you have to be polite, respectful, and just accept that people do it how they want to do it. You know, and I'm probably going to go into topics now that could really, get me seen a certain way.
It's all right, you're my channel.
Yeah, well,
it's all right.
there are certain things that in my opinion, once you start threatening violence to people, which has happened, it's happened to me, You know, I've had
Oh,
people
toys.
friends. Right
Oh, the
early.
custom toys, you've had threats of violence.
Right. Well, no, I'll tell you what it was. Right in
Hey,
the
toy
early
boy.
days. Hey up, Dave. Right in the early days on YouTube, I think one of my second or third videos on my channel. This, bearing in mind, I'd been collecting for a while, but because I'd not really done it online or been on YouTube, I didn't really know about this divide thing. And I thought I was doing a real good video, so I started buying reproduction card backs for my Star Wars figures, and I thought, hey, this is going to be really cool. I can't afford 150 quid for an original card. What I'll do is I'll get these card backs for 4 quid. I can get a plastic bubble and I can recard them. I'll put them on my wall. They'll look great and it'll look like just the real thing, and that'll satisfy me, no problem. Before I really knew what it was like. Well, I got people in my comments threatening to burn my house down. You know, and I hope your collection burns. You know, with your house. And I was like, well, hang on, my house with my family in it. You mean? And they were just like, whatever. You know. Now, bearing in mind at that point, I just met Tez, and bless him, Tez jumped into the comments and he basically put this guy to sleep.
He's the last person you want in your comments. He'll get everybody barred in.
He jumped in, bless him, Tez, and sort of basically, you know, jumped in with this guy as well. But that was a while back, and then of course I started to see exactly how this sort of thing is perceived. But I think once you get into them kind of threats over something like this, I think you've got a wiring issue. I think you're wired up wrong, because I understand it upsets people. I understand it upsets people, but what frustrates me is when there's two sayings that I hate when it comes to this. I see one saying that respects the history, right? So, you know, there's certain people in the community that have been absolutely scolded for opening, let's just say, a Star Wars figure that's been sealed for 40 years, right? They buy it, it's their figure, they open it, right? And they get scolded for it. Respect the history, that's what you hear. Now, what frustrates me about that is, forget the fact that it's that person's figure, they've bought it, it's theirs. What I struggle with is I don't understand the statement "respect the history." I'd love someone to explain to me what that means. Now, I assume I assume they mean, because it's been sealed for 40 years, respect that it's been sealed for that amount of time. Don't open it. So my question would be there: where's the cutoff? Where's the line between today it's acceptable to open it and tomorrow it's not? I don't understand where the line is. And on the other side of it, what is the history of these things? Let's take Star Wars, right? What's the history? The history is every single figure, playset, creature, whatever, they are toys. And every single one of them was made with the intention that they are bought and opened and played with. So are you respecting the history by opening it and playing with it? Or are you respecting the history by keeping it sealed? You know, I think that's a really... Are you disrespecting the history by keeping it sealed? Because the intention was it was to be opened and played with. You know?
Yeah.
I think for me, what it is for me, it's respecting how other people collect. I think that's what it is for me. I think I admire people with a full line of vintage. You know, you look at these G.I. Joe full lines or you know, Star Wars lines, and everything's, you know, real and everything's vintage and everything's mint condition, and I love that. But then I'll also see somebody else's with the retro custom cards out and the repo weapons, and I also love that. Do you know what I mean? It's like I just think, you know.
Sorry,
I don't
Shabby,
condemn it. What I was going to say is I've never understood this, and I'm the 100% as you. Our side said, let's bring this up. First thing I said was, oh, I'm not sure, mate. First thing I said,
of course we do. Yeah, of course
because
we do. Yeah.
The thing about it is I've always made a channel on and same as you and same as DTM that makes everybody laugh and enjoy it and so on. So I always get baffled when people get so mad and so upset about somebody else's collection.
That's the thing that I want to be clear. You know, I don't care how people do it. And if people want to buy a carded figure that's been sealed for 35, 40 years and want to keep it sealed, no problem at all. If that's what you want to do with it, you know. But I just think, however, I've seen people I don't know them as in person, but online, I have seen people that were friends, and then one has found out the other one has Reaper in their collection, and they've parted ways as friends, and I find that absolutely baffling.
Yeah,
baffling, isn't it?
Baffling. You know, you choose your friends based on what the person's like, not what they collect.
That is crazy.
you know.
Dave,
And I
Luke,
find that
if there's any
astonishing.
Stan Solos in your collection, don't ever phone me.
I find it astonishing. You know, I mean, Adam's put in the comments that we were talking about it. I would never, ever, ever even consider picking my friends based on how they collect. I mean, how ridiculous!
Yeah.
But
I think if
people
it doesn't
do it.
affect you,
know.
that's the thing
Ridiculous.
for me. You know, if you watch a for example, DTM, and he's pulled out this thing and so forth. Whether he shows Funko Pops, whether he shows Black, whether it's, I just admire somebody else being in our collecting community. It'd be a lonely place if it was just me. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm funny, but I don't think anybody else does. But that's the thing, you know. I admire how people collect and what they collect and so forth. And maybe it's like I said, we're all from completely different backgrounds. We're all from completely different jobs and financial things and kids and this and that. We've got people that are, you know, from police officers to people that don't work. There's and I've always been welcoming to upset somebody over there. I couldn't do it. And I think as well that you'll find that the majority of people, I don't know whether you agree in this or not, they tell you, oh yeah, I've got this figure, but the weapon is repro.
I mean, unfortunately, obviously, it is spoiled by a handful of people. That there are people out there that are willing to buy repro stuff and try and pass it off as original. And I think everyone agrees, no matter what side of the fence you sit on, that is a big no-no. We all can agree on that. But after that, I think it's just a case of just be respectful. You can agree to disagree. You know, you don't have to do it all the same. You can agree to disagree. But I think, you know, once it gets into it does. Yeah. You know,
I can imagine there's stuff, and you love watching his videos with the way you can make stuff and fix stuff and do stuff. And I remember years ago he made that slave one. He got a vintage slave one and put lights in it. That was years ago. You know, and I still remember that video now. I'm like, oh man, that was awesome the way he did that.
And I tell you what. With Dave being in the chat as well, I've got to say the one thing I do admire about Dave at Toy Polloi is I admire how he deals with it. Because I've got to admit, if I got some of the grief Dave gets, I think I'd just shrivel up and die and take my channel off and just... Because I admire how he deals with it. He just bats on and plows through, and he's very philosophical about it all, and I do admire that. But it's one of them where this hobby, whether it be Star Wars or whatever, it's for everybody, and I don't care what colour skin you have, if you're fat, thin, rich, poor, and there seems to be this idea that some people out there will say, well, if you can't afford to buy a £350 yak face, you shouldn't be collecting Star Wars. It isn't based on how deep your pocket is. You know,
it's based on that, and I'm not going to let my collecting life. Exactly, I've always been the same with my YouTube channel too, and the collecting and so forth. It's up to you what you do. It's it's up to you. You know, you'll go on some and they'll just moan about it and this and that. Yeah. But I've known people with the people that are purists. I admire what they do. I just don't like the bullying of other people because you don't know them. You don't know the financial situation they're in. You don't know whether they just do it as a side hobby and so forth. Red 5 says the only trouble with repo is some unscrupulous people.
Well,
that I do
absolutely
agree with.
That's what we're saying. Yeah. That's the biggest problem of it. You know, not everyone wants to be transparent about it, and if everyone was open and upfront and transparent, there'd be no issues. But unfortunately, there are a few out there that are willing to do it, and that's where it becomes difficult. You know, but I struggle with certain attitudes towards it. You know, you'll see people. I mean, God, I'm going to get potentially really deep here. You'll see people screaming, but you know, you're ruining the hobby for future generations and all that lot. You know, almost like the campaigning for the greater good. And again, what niggles me about that is they're not really bothered about. Not in my opinion, they're not really bothered about that. What they're really bothered about is they usually either deal in it, so they're worried about their selling prices. They either invest in it, so they're worried about the value of their own collection. They're worried purely because they think it potentially affects them. Now, if they were so worried, moral high ground, if they were so worried about lining criminals' pockets and fraudulent stuff and breaking laws and all, which they all scream, do you see them campaigning so hard for people that make fake luggage, fake trainers, fake watches, fake whatever? Do you see them online? Do you see them online going after those people? No, you don't. And do you know why? Because it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
You know, so they're not bothered about counterfeit anything else because it doesn't affect them. That's why they're bothered. Not for the greater good, but because they think it's going to affect them and their collection and the value of their investment and their business potentially.
Dave here says something, and he said, I know every time I do a Star Wars repair video, I get some hassle. No other toy line causes this. It doesn't make me stop. No, I don't think you should stop making videos. And I think that's why we brought it up tonight, because, like I said, I was the same as you. I was umming and ahhing. And I thought, you know what? Why not? We're not doing any harm by bringing it up and just saying our opinion. Do you know what I mean? Whether you agree with it or not, you know, it's...
No. You know, I'm
when
not,
he gets on the level like you just said,
pointing fingers at anybody.
Yeah.
He's starting to get threats and stuff like that over what you collect and how you display it and what you bought with your own money. Is absolutely stupid in my eyes. It's just completely, it's nonsensical way of thinking. No one has got their arm up your back to buy any of this stuff, whether it be custom, whether it be vintage, repo, modern, anything. No one has actually got their arm up your back and said, buy that. And I think when you do buy it, it's because you've actually liked something. So whether it be custom, whether it be whatever, no one should have an opinion. I've seen people go mad because they've put an Empire Strikes Back Vader with the Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. And I'm like, what the hell does it matter? You know, people love Star Wars. They've got a Star Wars display going. What does it matter how they've displayed it or what they've got to...
Like I say, it boils down to transparency. If everyone would be transparent about it, then there would be no issue. You know, if somebody wants to collect Star Wars and they're on the breadline, you know, they've got 4 kids, 5 kids, or what, and a £2 lightsaber to go in Luke Bespin's hand that looks legit, that when they stand it on the shelf and they look at it, still makes them feel warm and fuzzy that they had that figure in, and that satisfies them. Go do it.
I've said it before. It's all based off nostalgia. I'll go back to the story. I mean, when I got those last 17 figures, I had the pop-up R2, so I thought, I'll get the lightsaber for this, and I go on eBay, and the prices, I thought, there's no way for a piece of plastic, and really, you don't even see a centimetre of the top of it once it's in there. And so the prices were well over $100 for one of them. But there's some guy making repro ones for like $5.99. Well, it sits on the shelf and you see that part. That's it. That's it for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that purely boils
if I
down
ever
to
sold
Shabby
it,
again.
I would.
Yeah, of course you would. Sorry. But I was just going to say that purely boils down to then whether you can look at it and go, I'm not bothered that it's not genuine, or there's that little voice inside you that niggles you going, I want it to be genuine. And the people that have that, no problem. You know, if you want it to be genuine and you somehow manage to pay that money for it, absolutely fine, go nuts. But the people that don't want it, they shouldn't be judged and they shouldn't be chased torches and pitchfork style, you know, which unfortunately, and that's where, for me, I don't care how people want to collect. If they want to be called a purist or fine.
I'm the same. I couldn't hurt anybody's feelings. It's not in me. Well, Northern lads, we've all been brought up the right way, haven't we? I just couldn't do it. I couldn't upset.
Well, I think also comes to that, Mark. It's Northern lads. We get a grip. Do you know what I mean? These people that go on like this, there must be a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic. Because it's just something that grown men you would never even fathom.
I understand it upsets some people, but to start threatening violence and wishing house fires on people and stuff, I mean, it's unreal, really.
I knew there'd been a big hoo-ha about all this repro, but I didn't know it went that far.
Oh
no,
yeah, dear me.
That opened my eyes as that.
The other thing as well, DTM, is.
And that's because of what, Luke? Why would you get a death threat? But what did you actually do to upset them?
I did a video about how to get reproduction card backs and how to basically back your own figures to make it look like the genuine article. So I basically did a video showing you how you can get a reproduction card back, get a bubble, mount it on the card with the figure, and then hang it up and display it. There you go. Look, you've got a carded Star Wars figure for £10 instead of £100. You know.
Yeah.
Well, that was before I knew how big a deal it was. You know. Yeah.
I just always think, what's my opinion in it? Who am I to give anybody? Well, I don't think you should do that. Well, who are you, Shabs? Do you know what I mean? He's like, it's not in me to do it. You know what I mean? Oh, I can't believe he's collecting that. What does that mean? It don't mean anything, you know. Look at me and you when we're walking around Joe Fest. The amount of different things you and your lovely Helen were picking up from what I was picking up. Yeah. But each one of us, when we picked up, like you with these Simpsons, and we got side that X-Men and but you admire what other people collect. You admire what other people pick up. Now, if you would have turned around to me and said, "Oh, Shabby, I'm buying this. I'm going to paint it green and do this," I'm not going to go, "Well, why?" It's up to you what you do with your stuff. You know, I've always been that sort of person. So,
no, I think it's a very delusional way of thinking. I think, in a sense, because you don't have to buy these. I can't go on about custom people. My whole business is basically custom. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah, but if I'm
basically the way I
honest,
work.
I don't think customs really are the issue, Si. Customs generally seem to be accepted. I mean, you look at when you went to Echo the other weekend. There's loads of custom stuff there now. Loads of
looked
custom
fantastic.
stuff being done, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Yeah, absolutely.
So do you think it's just the love of annoying people why they go on? Must be.
Yeah.
The thing is,
absolutely.
mate, it's like if I watched the Toy Ploy video and I was adamant about this, I wouldn't watch his videos. I wouldn't leave a comment. I wouldn't be nasty. And I wouldn't leave a. I mean, it's just not in me to do. But some people, it's like he says, hey, you've got to have a thick skin. I can imagine what some of the. I remember talking to a big. I'm not going to say a big YouTuber at Joe Fest last year, and he said, Shabby, you just won't believe I'm inundated all the time with these. Everyone, this person's done this, and this person said that what you collect is this, and I'm like, how do you put up with that? I don't. I can't do it.
I couldn't.
You know?
I'm glad that I've only ever really had that one instance. Because if I got as much grief as some of the YouTubers, I don't know. Look, I'm tiny, but some of the bigger YouTubers get. There's not a chance I think I could cope with it. I really don't.
No.
I think it's because, like I said, I've watched all your videos and I've watched all the DTMs, and we don't come across as those people, do we? We're all having a laugh and a joke, and you can tell through the majority of our videos. And our last topic is going into YouTube as well. Is we enjoy it. It's fun. This I think what it is for me, lads. And I don't know what I can't speak for you three, but I've never taken this seriously. It's always a fun thing. This is my escapism time.
It's meant to be fun, isn't it? It's meant to be fun, but there are certain areas of it, or certain corners of what we do, that are just not fun at all.
No, I agree.
And I'm very lucky that I've only had one instance really since I've been doing it. And then once I met you guys, and obviously the amount of people I've met kind of through you guys now. This is. My hobby is probably the most enjoyable. This is probably the most enjoyable time that I've ever done it for, because it used to be I love my hobby, but it was very lonely. I had nobody to share it with. None of my friends, none of my local friends or family are into it. So I'd go up to my brother. I mean, my brother can appreciate it, but I'd go up to him and go, "Oh, mate, look at this figure I got," and he'd go,
"Cheers, pal."
All right, that's cool. And then that was it. Or you show people now and they'll go, oh, nice one, mate. How did you get that? Where did you get that from? How much did you get it for? They're interested. They want to talk to you about it. So it's probably the most enjoyable time I've ever done this for. Unfortunately, there are certain little corners that I worry about talking about this, or I worry about talking about that. How many months after that video that I've just said I got grief for, did it take me to do? I did a video on a Cloud City playset that was a reproduction that I got from a company called Cardboard Boxes and Inserts or something like that.
Yeah, because have you seen how much that real one is? The Sears one.
Well,
it's pricey, man.
It took me months and months and even then, I think I messaged Matt, said, Matt, what do you think? I'm thinking about doing this video. Do you think I'll get a load of crap for it? Because I was worried.
Worried about
doing a video out of fear of what I might get in my comments or. And he's like, just do it, mate. Just do it.
That's crazy. That you actually, me and Mark were talking about organising this chat. And I said, you know what? I'd like to bring up the conversation that we started earlier. Mark went, I don't know.
Straight away, same as you.
I was like, what were you talking about? You did it, Luke. Well, some people are like, I'm like, I don't get it, because I'm not. Well, for a start, I don't own my own YouTube channel. For a second start, I don't seem to go in these corners on YouTube where that sort of exists. Maybe it's the channels I watch. Maybe I don't really watch a lot of vintage or custom videos or anything like that. Or maybe I've just been lucky enough to keep out of all that. But what I will say is that I do find it absolutely bizarre. I just find it the most incredible thing that how people can get agitated and annoyed at other people's collections, or how it's displayed, or what they've bought, or how they've bought it. It's beyond me. It's beyond. Always has.
It is. Yeah. It's a strange one. I mean, even when we're talking now, we're talking and I'm saying some of the stuff I've now said, and even while I'm saying it, there's a little voice in my mind going, "Oh, Luke, be careful."
Don't worry, Luke. The big brothers are here. I'll have them to you. Don't you worry about that. The big brothers are here.
Yeah. But it's all stuff that I've spoke to other people privately about, and But like I've said before, to be clear, I have no issue with how anyone wants to collect. I just think the bottom line is we've all got to be respectful and kind to each other, no matter how we do it. No matter how we do it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't
I
have
just
to
couldn't
agree.
do it.
You don't.
I'm not that person. It's like I don't know. You
No.
listen, when you've done it for as long as us, we're getting into our 5th, 6th year of doing it now. You know, you're going to have little interferences with people. Some people are going to piss you off. So, but I would never publicly come out and say anything. It's not in me for do this. I've always come under the assumption that doing this sort of stuff and showing off our figures, and you know, we're proud of our collections and what we have and what we don't, regardless of what's in it. So I've always been a person to fully support. I mean, it's the same as the YouTube channels, which we're going to go into next before we have to go. I've always been a person that, you know, I've been doing it about 4.5 years now. But when people surpass me and go past me, I'm the first to go, well done, mate. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't got a bad bone in my body for it. So it's funny.
But at the end of the day, as well,
mate.
it's only your opinion. You know, it's an opinion that you've got as well as anything else.
Yeah,
You're going to
just
be
what you think,
criticised for
isn't it?
every opinion you make. Do you know what I mean? It's baffled me.
Yeah.
Exactly right. DTM, anything to say before we move on to our last topic?
No, I mean, I just think all the fun would be taken away from me if it were all. I wouldn't enjoy it anymore if I start getting comments like that. It'd just put me straight off, and I'd probably go up in a ball and move on to something else. Why am I getting grief for something I enjoy doing?
Yeah,
You know,
it's weird,
not right.
isn't it? I agree with that, DTM. You sit back sometimes. I remember one guy saying it to me. Oh, Shabby, you only make Luke took him to Cletus. I'll never forget it. I don't really get nasty comments on my videos. I'm quite lucky in that sense. But I did get this one guy, and it wasn't nasty what he said. But he turned around and said, "Oh, you YouTubers, you feels like you only make videos when you're getting free stuff." And I had a real problem with that because, and I know you've said it a lot in your videos. So our next topic is YouTube and the community and so forth. So I had an issue with that because I'm always there's nothing in my room here that I've ever been given or someone sent in that I've got rid of. I've even got notes on napkins that people have given me, and I keep it in the treasure chest and all that kind of thing. I get overwhelmed by it. So when I got this message, this comment, the lads took him to the cleaners. I was impressed because his lads were like, "Why don't you finish off and say, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out or whatever." I think that's what it was. I think we've become so close in it, us lot. And the way we all, we've set up things behind the scenes and we all talk to each other. We make sure. I messaged one of our friends this who's going through a hard time this week just to make sure he's all right and everything's fine. We've got like that, and I think we're very lucky in our community. But you are right, lads, when you say sometimes before all this, it is a lonely thing, isn't it? Because your wives aren't really interested in it, your girlfriends, boyfriends, or whatever. And it can be a lonely thing. This, and what's the first thing we want to do? Show our stuff off to everybody.
We want to show someone. Yeah, absolutely. But I think the thing is, it's got to the stage now where, and then this is the way I see it now. Whether you've got a YouTube channel or whether you aren't, whether I speak to you daily, weekly, or whether we don't speak often at all. Everyone in the chat, everyone that's got a channel, attack one of us, you attack all of us now, and that's kind of how I see it now. If I see anyone, I take it almost personal. So if I see one of the lads getting crap, you just take one of us on, you take all of us on, and that's how I see it. I don't like. I don't want to be rude to people, and I'll never start it. But if I see someone getting crap, one of the lads or whatever, let's get in.
You're the first to jump in, and I suppose you're right, really, because it's funny. I said it on a video once when John Baldry sent me that Imperial Shuttle. We turned the worst year into the best year. That when the pandemic was it, because we all found each other. But the thing is, it's funny because you look back through your old videos. I've got videos now from 4.5 years ago, and you see the people who's commented, and we're still together now. Do you know what I mean? It's and now everyone's meeting up and everyone's going to different countries. And look at Scuba Pete, the way, look at DTM when he came over here. But people here. Do you see what I mean?
It's crazy to think about, really. I mean, when I think that we've had Scuba and Leslie here, we've had Ron here. It's crazy to think about. Yeah,
Scuba, I was talking DTM FaceTime me in my mum's house. Pete at my mum's house, and I'm like, I'm halfway across the world, and these lads are in my mum's house. Shabs, you all right? Just having a cup of tea, and I'm like, it's awesome. Yeah. But so, do you enjoy I mean, I'll speak to you, Si, first, because you don't have a channel, but you've basically helped me out big time. Me and you've built the Tub Thumpers, and we're enjoying it, And it is funny how we've all evolved and moved on into different things. I, for example, have never turned around and said, I'm not making YouTube videos anymore. I've just preferred the live stream, and I like to have a chat, and I like to interact. But what do you think of it, Si?
I had a channel in 2010, and it was called Obi-Wan Si 75. That's what it was called.
Jeez,
And it was me and my mate Dylan. We do comedy skits and stuff, and we did videos, but my videos were not on. They were. I showed all my collection room at the time and stuff, but they were mostly on art and graffiti around the Fylde, around Blackpool, and that sort of stuff. And I did 192 videos. We had quite a following, but I came to the decision it's not me. I'm not Noel Edmonds. I'm not Bob Monkhouse. I came across as the most awkward character making these videos. So I took the whole thing down and stripped the lot off. I think what you all do today is great for the community. But I also agree with what Luke says. I don't think that anybody makes anything that deserves this sort of unwanted attention, this sort of grief. I think that people that come along to do that are only coming along to throw spanners in the works. They're not really bothered about what they're actually talking about. It's more the upset and the drama they can bring to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I also believe, looking at a few channels now, that drama has become a creative for their channel to bring in the viewers. They said, she said, they said, and the viewership just goes like that up and up and up.
And
it's how it works on
as
TikTok.
well,
Yeah. I just think the best thing to do is ignore any stupid thing like that. People have opinions, and same for collecting. People will collect what they want, when they want, how they want, and nobody should have any right to tell them how to do it, really. No one.
VTR says, up north, you buy a vintage Star Wars from a guy who opens his Mac. You guaranteed they're original. Oh, yeah.
I haven't got that Mac anymore. Lost it.
I've made so many great friends.
Yeah,
exactly right. Yeah.
Top
I'm
guys,
not where Nate is. I'm nowhere near it, where Nivers are. And I think that's what it is. It's always nice, isn't it? You know, and it's like DTM's video. I must have watched his American video about 3 or 4 times. I mean, our Lucy sat with me and watched it because I feel as well that because we've gotten so close over the time and we all help each other out and support each other and so forth. It gives you a better meaning when you watch your friends' videos. When you're watching, you know, a Luke Reynolds video, or a VTR, or a Scuba, or a DTM. Do you know, it's like it gives you something.
Yeah, well, there was some bloke the other month on this video, and he's cleaning his shelves with a bit of Mr. Sheen, and it was Stu. Now, I wouldn't have watched that video at all, but because it was Stu, I thought I'll watch Stu clean his shelves. Yeah, no problem. Do you know what I mean? So you do support people, don't you? Like,
does Mr. Sheen.
I showed my stuff to a lady and got a 500-meter restriction.
I've been judging Stu off of chamois leather.
But DTM, you were one of the original ones that was later on. It's like Guppy's now making these videos. Are you enjoying it, making them?
I only do them sporadically.
No,
I only do them when I've got an idea or I've got something that I've not seen myself on YouTube. You know, like you buy a figure and I've not seen anyone do a review of that. I'll get in there. Well, I only do it for a laugh, for a bit of a joke. Something for me to do with my toys other than keep them on the shelf. Yeah. So, I've never taken it seriously. I never will.
No, I don't think I will. I don't think I ever will.
I like to have a laugh and a joke, and that's it.
I like it as well because the majority of us we are what you see on the tin, and when we've all met up with each other, so you can tell straight away whether somebody's hang on a minute, that's not him. Do you know what I mean? But we've all been lucky because the majority of people I've met, either in real life or behind the scenes talking, everyone's just sound guys. I just like every one of you, you know. And I think you need it sometimes. You know, you've had a bad week, or you know, and something you've had, and then you go into the groups, or you're watching one of the lads, and it just brings you out of it, doesn't it? It just makes it. This is what I mean. This is why I think I've always been the way I am, because there's nothing to be pissed off about. Nothing. No. Do you know what I mean? I just find it. I just think it's a great laugh. I've always have done. I've got everyone's backs here except APD says, got to go careful with what you say in our group. I wanted to say the Power of the Force 2 X-Ring as a kid. 2 days later, box one showed up in my house. I was saying the same thing about a Land Rover, just in case there's anybody out there.
I would say the same thing about a 30-30. Somebody had a 30-30. Yeah, I would say that,
Yeah, but now even the girls are doing it. Even the girls are getting involved and getting all this, and and then you go into like I say, you see Rum's Lego stuff. There's all different. It's funny how we've all evolved because remember it was, at the start, Luke, all of us were making Star Wars videos, weren't we? All of us.
Yeah, but it's the love of Star Wars that brought us all together. Let's be fair. We all love different franchises.
Star
Wars is the third and fourth in mine.
Yeah, I remember messaging you, Shabby, and a couple of the other lads going, I'm thinking about doing a non-Star Wars video, lads. What do you think? I mean, my channel's branded and everything. What do I do? And now I barely do Star Wars.
I know.
I don't even think of it a second thought.
It's yours. It's the same. It's like your intro goes past with the X-wing, Shabby geek.
Yeah.
It's Masters of the Universe.
Imperial March intro. Here's Centurions. Look at this.
Yeah. This is one thing what Keith says right here, and I know you feel agree with this. It's very, very important for me to include the people that don't do YouTube. It's very
100%. 100%.
People like Rob's Retro and Keith and the other lads that do it over the simple reason. Des, for example, Zoe T, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lord Milvarder. They're part of this community. I've never ever looked at it. It's like us, the people that do YouTube and everybody else. It's all of us. That's why we put on the DSR thing. We are all CSR.
I think the way we all look at this is if you chat to us, any one of us, whether your YouTube channel, social media, like 3, 4 groups, one group, no groups, you're one of us. That's that. I don't think that anyone sees that any different. Yeah.
One figure, 50,000 figures doesn't bother me. You're into it. You're into it.
Yeah. I that's one thing that's very important because it is a community. It's not a YouTube community. It's a community we've all built.
Community as
How
a
many
whole,
big messages you get, Luke, of people that don't have YouTube channels, but you got to know them through behind the scenes and whatever, and then you tell your other friends about them and you bring them in and like a behind the scenes chat. How many people stem from that? People have watched people like us and they've gone, I can do that. I'll have a go at that. And it gives them the confidence to go out and do it themselves. I think that's the best thing about this community to me. It really is. The generosity in our group is humbling. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not just necessarily the gifts, it's the support of something. Someone will write, I'm doing a live stream, my first live. Like Stu did his first live stream. Everyone went in and supported him. Hi, Stu, you're all right, mate. I know you're thinking are you still thinking of doing a live stream?
Yeah, I think I will start doing one at some point. I think that's naturally the next sort of bit of progression for me. I enjoy doing my videos and that lot, but I feel I need to I feel I want to do something different, not necessarily need to do something different, but yeah, I want to do something different, but I've no idea exactly what I'd do them on yet, how I'd work it, whether it'd just be me, whether I'd get someone else in with me, I don't know. But at the moment, the way I'm looking at it is I'd like to start live streaming, not necessarily regularly, just here and there whenever I feel like it and I've got the time. And I'd like to get someone different each time, but not necessarily to interview them, like what Stu did or whatever. It's just trying to get an idea of maybe something a little bit different to because obviously there's plenty of stuff going on and I don't want to do something the same as other people, and also trying to avoid clashing with somebody, which ideally I don't want to do, which I think would be difficult. But
that's the worst part of it. It really is. But the thing is, sometimes it can't be helped. I think the only thing that I've thought about, because someone did have an issue with me doing it a couple of years back, and I it's not as if sometimes, again, it all boils down to time zones. When you want to have the keep on collecting lads, or you want to have something, all different. Me and Si had to change tub thumpers for Mike, because you can't ask Mike to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do tub. Sometimes it's going to happen. The way I look at that, though, is that's what's great about YouTube, because you can rewatch the replay. It's funny, I get messages saying, Shabby, I can't come in tonight, but I'll watch the replay. Brilliant.
I watch more replays than I do live, to be honest.
Exactly. We've all got different time zones in life. It's like sometimes one of you lads will do one at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Well, that's only 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon for me. That's only 1 o'clock for Jeff Barker and Andy and all that. 5 o'clock in the morning for Australians. It's hard to catch everybody's streams and what they do.
So many that you want to watch as well. So catch up later.
And to be fair, there is now a lot more than there ever has been. Yeah, if you want to start supporting the community and watching everybody, you're going to be watching a lot of stuff now.
That's it, yeah.
So, you've got no choice sometimes, 3/4 of the time to watch replays, have you?
Yeah. When I was a kid, I never got girly stuff for birthdays or Christmas. I got Meccano set straight. My girls did. Yeah. I think the only girly thing I ever bought my girls was Monster High and a tea set. Apart from that, was all actually Lucy, dinosaurs, Jurassic Park stuff and all that sort of stuff. Phil, hey, pal.
Hey up, Phil.
All the Aussies are in now, and the New Zealanders are all here. Absolutely brilliant.
Just as we're finishing. All right, lads.
Yeah. Just as we finish. It always
They've got
does
sense, haven't they?
But anyway,
at the end.
let's just get down a bit. Yeah, let's have a look what he says. I recon our little toy collecting toy community is the envy of the. I've always looked at it, and I think that's why I've never had an ego and never got big-headed ever. Is because I feel very lucky for what we have and the people that are around me. I feel very, very lucky.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what it is. People gave me a chance at the start. So I always want to do it to somebody else. Do you know what I mean? I'll be the first to say, yeah, no, oh, Shabby, will you come on and do this? Of course I will. You know what I mean? Because I remember if people said no to me at the start, we won't be doing it, would we? So, but anyway, so this has been, I've absolutely loved this. I mean, it's
thoroughly enjoyed it, boys. Always do.
It's I was going to say, it's always nice, isn't it? When we all get together, we all do this. And I remember walking up cobbled streets when I was a lad, and getting me bread. Saving up my weekly delivery rounds so I could buy me Action Force figures and I could buy me stuff.
Do you know what blows my mind, right? Did you know that Ridley Scott directed that advert?
Did say, yeah, I did.
I didn't know that. I'm just picturing that kid walking his bike up the street with his. Brilliant.
My favourite advert for the North was the one where the kid wanted that racer for Christmas, and his dad said, "Oh, no, they're too expensive."
Like a razor blade.
And he woke up, didn't he? Do you know what? I watched that the other week on one of them YouTube, and I started getting choked up watching it. You know me, I was like, so he got his bike. He got his bike.
Look out window.
It's funny. It's funny because
right about that paddle.
We saw. Do you remember the other Yellow Pages one where the kid's trying to get his dad the train set or the carriage for the train set?
My favourite one.
Right. Yeah. I remember we watched that not long ago. And my brother went, "Oh, that's a good advert, that, isn't it? Do you remember that advert? Oh God, what a great advert!" And I went, "Inconsiderate little shit. Left his dad's birthday present till the day." It's like, yeah, that was it. It's like left it on, didn't even wrap it, just give it to him in a brown paper bag. Inconsiderate little git.
Wrapping paper up north, you're having a laugh, aren't you? My favourite advert as a kid was this. Oh, you have it. Oh, my name. J.R.R.
Yeah, but even he got his book, didn't he? He phoned up a few times, didn't he, for that book, and in the end, he got that book, didn't he? Yes, we've got one. Remember, it was all like,
Well, we should all say happy birthday, Darth Muzzer. Good old Muzzer.
Happy birthday, Muzzer.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday,
Bloody long way to go for a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
They haven't. Yeah, that advert won loads of awards. Was considered one of the best adverts it was. So
Right, advert.
Yeah. I remember the Daz advert, powder, and he spilt it all over kitchens. Remember that one?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, reading it. Yeah, he was tipping it all over.
With his jazzy shirt on.
Yeah.
Yes, window.
Yeah. I fly fish.
But you think the old adverts, because adverts were a thing, weren't they? Because we had to watch them, and adverts were a thing. Yeah. Good adverts. I mean, when you think about now. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I don't know if you can call it a modern advert because it was quite a while ago. But one of my favourite modern adverts. Does anyone remember the Volkswagen advert with the little kid dressed as Darth Vader walking around his house trying to do the force on everything?
That won tons of awards.
Brilliant, that brilliant. And then he goes outside to his dad's car, doesn't he? Yeah. And it's the way, even though he's got Darth Vader's mask on, when he spins to look at his dad through the window, you can tell just what kind of look he'll have on his face. I've done it. Use the phone. Brilliant advert.
It's a good advert.
Simon said something on Rums on Monday, and Si said something. They don't make jingles and songs like that anymore, though. They're always like we were kids. If you thought of a club or you thought of a Kiora, you thought there's always a song
you could
to
hear
go
the
with
song.
it.
You could hear it. Yeah.
Well, that was as cool as in the 80s. There was quality songs in movies and adverts and TV shows and cartoon shows. We sang every beginning, didn't we? And that just seems to have gone now. Doesn't seem to be that,
No, they have.
They are.
To mother. Let's have a look. He didn't really want to go fly fishing by J.R. Hartley. He was really looking for the stud by Jackie Collins. All right. Well, anyway, we're done. I've loved it. What a great afternoon.
Yeah,
I've really
enjoyed it, lads.
Oh,
Yeah.
I couldn't think, like I said, nicer blokes to do it with. It was awesome. This, I'm really happy we did it. So, has anyone got anything coming up they want to talk about? Obviously, we've got ZSR on Friday on Matt's channel, but anybody else coming? Anything
I'm
coming?
on with Nick tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Demolition Man, innit? Demolition Man.
Yeah,
Looking forward to
Demolition
that.
Man, yeah.
Love that film. Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
watched the
remember.
other day and it does hold up still, I think.
Oh, well, I think a film's
Sandra
only as good
Bullock in
as
that
its,
movie. Oh,
a film is only as good as its bad guy, and Simon Phoenix is a brilliant bad guy.
Simon Phoenix,
Brilliant.
loved him in that film.
I can't remember the
yeah.
last time I
Just
saw
quality in
Demolition.
that, though, isn't
Was it? Hang on. Was it Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man as well?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, brilliant film. Yeah,
I'll have to watch that
really
again.
good.
I haven't seen it
Yeah,
for years.
so,
I always remember the end, you know, when he goes underground and he eats that rat burger. What's that?
Rat
Rat
burger.
burger.
yeah.
Best rat I ever tasted.
DTM man, never off YouTube. DTM, look at him, he's getting around.
I don't have the same like pizzazz that everyone else does. You know,
Pizzazz.
That's it.
That's why we love it.
Yeah.
That's why we
You've
love
got plenty
DTM.
of. You've got plenty of pizzazz, DTM.
Oh,
You've got
cheers.
plenty of pizzazz.
Yeah. Oh, DTM.
But-
It's that
Yeah,
video. I must
you
have
don't
around
know.
it about 3 times when your lovely Ellen's in Central Park and you went, oh, look at that castle. Must be owned by Tom Cruise. Just the way you say it. Honestly, brilliant. Absolutely.
Sometimes
I
I
mean,
think,
any
what
way.
am I saying? But then when I watch it back, I laugh myself. You know, I make myself laugh.
That's what I mean. That's what it's all about, isn't it? All right, then, so Luke, have you got anything? You got a video coming up this Sunday?
No. No, not this one. Next Sunday. It's a good one. It's a bit different. Yeah, a bit different. We had a visitor a couple of months ago, so that person might feature.
Oh, I just watched the one with Ron. I just watched that one.
Oh no, wait, no, God, I've dropped that one.
No,
I know what I'm doing next.
We've already watched that.
No,
Come on,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, that was out this weekend, wasn't it? So what will it be next? Oh,
How
yeah.
many people are going to your house?
It'll be no. It'll be. I think it's Sectors next. Sectors coming up. Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
Sectors next. Yeah.
And
Yeah, that was the issue with sectors because, like, we had a couple of them when me and Mark were kids, but we didn't have all the setup. So it's nice seeing this like book thing that you can put on your hand and stuff like that. Because I never saw all that and the big hive thing that there was for them. And
Yeah.
we only had a couple of sectors, didn't we, Mark? They weren't like a
One
collection
day.
we had. We just had 2 or 3 figures, didn't we?
Yeah, we like the figures. I know Rob's Retro's got most of them now. He's banging to him, Rob.
I like the colours.
And I found that annual.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that annual I found for $4. Sectors annual, and it looks like it's never been opened. I couldn't believe. I showed it on
really?
annual night. It was unbelievable. Found it the day before
Must
we
have
were doing
missed
that
it.
stream. Next week, me and Si doing Tub Thumpers. What we're doing? You want to tell everybody, Si, about the Halloween night we're doing?
No, but can I just read Jonathan's comment? That is really funny. He's put, Si, was the rat burger seller the same chap who tried to sell Scuba the hamburger in Black?
I don't know, but they'd be a
It's so funny that night. Scuba Pete's going on for 3 days. Oh, we've got to have one of these pound burgers. Because he'd watched it on Walk on the Wild Side. We've got to have one. I was like, Pete, oh, no, it'll be nice, but we've got to have one. We walked up, right? As soon as he smelt the air, he went, no, I don't think I'll have one. And I was, no, buy one. You can buy 5 for a £5, Pete. You can get him in. He's like, no, I've changed my mind.
That's the smell of the
Smells
north.
like dead
Scuba.
horses.
So go on, Si.
That's
Before we go, Si, Tub Thumpers. What we doing on Wednesday?
Oh, Wednesday night, we're doing a Tub Thumpers, but it's a Halloween special on Wednesday night. And we're going to leave an open link up. And so instead of a Thumpers, we're having a guest on. If anybody wants to come on, you've got to show something horror or Halloween related. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in your collection. It could be your favourite film, a poster, a T-shirt, something you've got in a box, something that's on your wall. For me, I've got a lot of them NECA Halloween figures, you know, like all the horror figures that NECA did. I'm going to show a couple of them off that I really like. So if any of you want to pop on and have anything Halloween or horror related, come and show it.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you want to get Monkey Boy involved in that. God, he's got some crazy stuff when it comes to horror stuff.
Get him on. It'll be up. Everyone's more than welcome on Tub Thumpers on Wednesday, so that'd be awesome. Right, we're going. Thank you to DTM. Thank you to Reynolds Reviews. The links for these lads' YouTube, just in case. I mean, everybody, I think 90% know who they are, but if you don't, the links for their YouTube channels in the description, and we'll see you all soon. Say ta-ra, lads.
Cheers, everyone.
Ta-ra, lads.
Thanks.
See ya.
See you later, folks.